Greetings, Devans. Give me a moment, I'll just share this. Those who are watching the recording can just forward it for 2 minutes. Give me a moment, I'll just share this. Yes, I'm done with. I hope the voice is clear. So, greetings to all of you in this night, 21st Jan. Greetings, Anita ji. Malaji, welcome. Kannu ji, welcome. Kannu or Kanu, it is right. Tina, welcome. So I guess I just made a short kind of a form today. I'll put it tomorrow. This is for just the updates. So whoever signs up for this forms will, you're just leaving your number here, WhatsApp number, so that next time, going forward, if any updates are there, any live or any posts or any messages or any events or seminar, webinar, retreats, courses or whatever comes forth, I can keep you updated via the email and WhatsApp. But I'm not opening it very publicly because I don't want crowd there. I don't want curious minds or people just bypassers to just peep in and trying to see what is all about. I want those people who have been very regular for a long time now, and obviously you know what the platform is about. So I believe for the past 2 years, all the material that I've put here online is very clear, and there is no room for any curiosity anymore. I mean, people who have known this work, they will know it. So they can just put in their names and all that. So I just know that it's so and so person, and then add you to the subscription list, and any kind of events, upcoming events and all that, any places, different places also, retreat and all that, I'll just keep you posted. Only this group. So I'll be putting that form tomorrow. I made a short video also explaining that, so I'll post it tomorrow. Anyway, so today I think is part 3 of Know Thyself, and yesterday it was very elaborate. I think it went on for 4 hours unexpectedly. We covered a lot of aspects of practical spirituality, being very, very practical. Because if we are practical, only results come. If we are not practical, only procrastination comes. Even in the results are procrastinated. So we were just talking about Swamiji, some Swamiji. We don't know who the Swamiji is. The author mentioned some Swamiji, but as far as when I look at this book, I know that he is not an ordinary Swami. He is somebody who is very extraordinary, because the kind of vairagya that he has, the kind of love that he has, and the kind of wisdom that he has, the kind of openness and oneness that he has, shows a very high stature. And I believe he came into the train with that purpose only. So to convey so many messages, and this all got recorded as a book where the author wrote about all this. And as we mentioned yesterday, 20 years this book was hidden. I mean, the transcripts were hidden because the author died, and nobody knew that this book is in progress. So once they came to know, After 20 years, they all got together, found the transcript, and they got it printed. And I think few copies of, not much, they have spread it out. And this came to my hand in Shankar Maharaj's Samadhi place. And I believe a lot of very important details I have shared in the past 3 days, in the night live that we are doing at 9 o'clock. So, and I'm doing this live and leaving back the recordings also, so that whoever finds it very practical, they can look into these details. And I'm leaving also as a record of the continuation of the talks that we are talking about on the practical spiritual journey. Now, as the journey thins, as it heightens, as it deepens, lot of things have to be left behind. This is one practical aspect which I've not seen much in spirituality, because the narrowing is not there. It's a widened space, and we go on widening this manner. We start from here, and then you get this, you get this, you get this, you get this, and it goes on. It's never ending. The field of tapas, the field of austerities, how, if you go on, you can, there is no end to it. I mean, siddhis and the vastness, you go on exploring and exploring and exploring, and there is so much of curiosity. It can never be answered. It is very, very deep, and huge and vast. But spirituality gives an understanding that if you do these things and do it for certain years, you are going to get understanding of the whole thing. Impossible. How much ever you do, how much ever we are advanced, we will still have just a percentage of the fraction of the whole secrets of the universe. So the secrets of the universe is only for the curious mind, and the minds that want to linger around and find out more. And it's a vogue again. There, you want to enjoy, we want to enjoy things there. We want to find out things and explore, and there is so much of excitement in that exploration. It makes us keep alive. It makes us feel purposeful. There is a purpose, or to explore and be of life, be of some meaning. That is the reason very many minds, even the spiritual minds, get too much into these details, too much into these details. And eventually some are lost, and some are maybe pending, procrastinating. The other day I was there, when I was there in the Pune retreat, the couple of young teenagers were asking so many questions about the angels and angelic realms and dimensions and astral projections, astral travels, and all those kind of things. All these do exist. That is what I was telling them. But I was also advising them not to get into it. It's all unwanted areas, and it is not for seekers who are actually trying to get free of all these things. It is good for enthusiasts, spiritual enthusiasts. Another part of that excited spirituality, where so much of importance is given to all these things, especially the siddhis. So much of siddhis importance is given. There are so many dimensions, so many aspects within our own body, that if you just become aware and give it a little mastery, it can expand to such levels that if you are a restless mind, you cannot sit quietly. You will not settle for that. You will want to explore and go deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's no end to it. Like if you try to have an out of body experience, it's very thrilling for people to have out of body experience, especially when they have not had and they have listened to somebody talking about it. So somebody will talk about it, and then they are excited about it, and then they want to have that experience. Then they do all kind of stuff to get an out of body experience, just for the thrill of it, just for the fun of it. Not advisable, actually, absolutely not advisable, because those dimensions and those areas are so subtle and so deep and vast that you can literally get even lost in it. Literally. My guru had cautioned me not to get into those areas. anything which is unwanted, anything that is very lucrative, which is very luring, in the name of spirituality itself. He used to make Pardeshwar lingas, and Pardeshwara is the process of becoming Shiva. We use metals, and lot of purification process happens. There is a vidhi, there is a way that if you cleanse mercury, mercury is one of the most deadliest and most poisonous stuff. So the concept is, the science of alchemy is that if you purify parad or paras or mercury of the nine poisons, the nine deadly poisons, it becomes gold and beyond. It starts becoming gold first, and then beyond that, if the process is continued, then it becomes pure mercury, hardened mercury, because mercury is always very, mm, you can't hold it, you cannot catch mercury. It slips out of your hand, it slips out of anywhere, it doesn't stay in one place, it is that flexible. So now solidifying this mercury is a science itself, because you can't solidify until it goes to some minus degrees, extreme minus degrees, you can't solidify it. And here is a process which is done by the siddhas, where you cleanse it using a certain process, using some certain mantras and herbs and all that stuff. It cleanses itself to become the purest tattva. And the purest tattva of mercury is known as Shiva itself. So the whole ideology is that we also have the no-vikaras, we also have the poisons, we have the vikaras, and so does this metal also have this. This mercury has it. So the idea is, when you do sadhana, when you sit with it and go through the entire process in the proper mentioned way of the siddhas, not the mechanical process, but in the proper sadhana vidhi. If it is purified, then the mercury also gets purified to pure solidified mercury, which is known as Shiva. Same way, it is a sadhana on the self also, because when you are purifying the tattvas in that, the vikaras in the mercury, in the metals, you are also simultaneously purifying your own vikaras. So the idea is, when you together sit and do it, both are purified. And because both are almost becoming one, the unification is taking place. So whether you work on your self, the purification happens there, and what you work externally on that mercury, the purification happens on subtle layers in yourself. So that's the whole process about. It's just not about making the solidified mercury and then keeping it for worship. The process of solidifying it and purifying it itself is a great sadhana. So I had this mercury who had which was given to me by someone, and long back I'd kept it in my office, and for a long time I used to just do tratak on it. I was not used to do any kind of sadhana on the mercury. I never did any sadhana on it. So I kept it in my office so that I could always look at it, and it was always on my desk. So all the time my eyes would be on that. And there was a kind of love that I had generated for this Pardeshwara. Because Pardeshwara, when purified, it need not necessarily be completely purified. Depends on who's doing it and how they do it. So not necessarily it can be completely and thoroughly purified. If it is oozing out soot or black material, it means it's still not purified. And it's the process continues. The purification continues with as you do the sadhana. So that was the whole idea about, and I could see the black soot coming on the mercury, which I used to regularly wipe. And without doing any sadhana, I didn't do any sadhana. Of course, I had the Guru Mantra running in me all the time. That I even have now also. So whenever I looked at the Pardeshwar, it was a kind of sadhana. And then whenever I used to have holidays and I used to come back home here and all that, so my office team would just call and say, it's becoming golden color or it's becoming dark, whatever. Then if it is dark, I had assigned one person. Only that person, she should touch it, nobody else, because she was a sadhak. Nobody else should touch it, and she could, with the tissue paper, smoothen and clean it out. So that was regularly happening. But what I've noticed was when I'm doing sadhana anywhere, here or anywhere, even in my travel, when I'm not near the Pardeshwara also, the moment I used to do this sadhana, there also the suit used to come out. It used to get black, which I knew when I was there. I knew particularly if I was doing some process on myself, I could see it oozing. Only on those times. And if I don't do anything, then slowly it will have a layer of gold. It will turn into like golden color. So I was once here down and somebody told me it's turning golden and all that. And then I was doing my process here. And so I was traveling some places. And when I did that, I got a call that it's turning black. So I came to know this is a very unified process. You're one with that Pardeshwara. And I had fallen in love with that. So it's like we were one. Both were one. But then I asked my Gurudev once about this. What is this? It's turning gold because it's very lucrative. Everybody was very attracted to it every time. And people used to come and see it every morning. Today it's silver. Okay, okay, let's see tomorrow. Morning they'll come and see. Oh, it's gold, it's gold. So it was exciting for them. So I once asked my Guru, what is this about? He didn't answer me. He just went away. I thought he didn't share. Second time I asked him about this, that this is turning gold and it's looking nice. What's this about? Second time also he dodged the question and he went about doing something. Then I came to know that probably he's not interested. I forgot it. Then sometime when I was doing some work, he was just sitting there and suddenly he began talking about it. Without me asking only, he began saying that you will be tested in many ways on the path. That is what he just began saying. You'll be tested in many ways on the path. You will have to decide what do you want. Whether you want siddhis, whether you want powers, whether you want glitters, or whether you want Shiva Tattva, that is the supremacy, supreme. Whether you want God consciousness or supreme consciousness, whatever you call it. So he said, if you want the supreme Tattva, Param Tattva, then nothing should bother to you. Then he said, the path that you are going, which goes to Shiva, it goes, and before reaching Shiva, there is there is a split in the path. It takes two diversions. Said one goes towards all the miracles and all the benefits and all the glitters, all the things that come with it, all the stuff that comes with the practice, and the other goes towards Shiva, means the supreme tattva. He said that point you will have to choose. And he said that is what exactly happens in the Mercury process also. Whoever is doing that process of purifying, know that this can be converted into gold. The world has gone crazy. If you even Google it up and see how people have gone crazy to find out the secrets and create gold out of it and all that, but most every time they've failed because it doesn't work very. It's not a mechanical process. It's a tapas. It's a sadhana. There are very few monks who know the ultimate secrets of these and they proceed by it. So what my master was telling me was the gold. That question that I asked was lucrative. So indirectly he just told me it is that part where it starts moving towards the benefits, the siddhis, the powers and all that. It moves that side. So if you get attracted to that, lured to that, it's very attractive, luring. And if you focus on that and you try out of curiosity, you just want to understand, no, you'll go in that path. You have deviated from your actual path, which is going towards the Lord. So he said either it is Shiva or it is Siddhis or these kind of stuff. So if you keep walking in what direction you want, all these things should not matter to you. That's all he said. So he didn't answer what is that process about and what is that thing about and all those things. He never gave any answer. And since I was not interested in it, I didn't go to pursuing it. So I just remembered this incident. Now, when we are saying to be very careful on the path, when lot of tests happen, lot of tests happen. Yesterday also I was saying the Maya which is there, it is actually hyperactive in spirituality. Maya is not Maya. When you are in the world, you don't even understand, because when you are engrossed and drowned in the world, that is Maya, the power, effect of Maya itself. You won't know about it, and it doesn't matter. There, it will not matter. Even the ones who go behind running gold for the gold, it will be created. I mean, that's also a tattva only. It's all a part of creation. Nothing is wrong, nothing is right. But only thing, you will be kept away from what you are actually seeking. That's the only thing. Your direction will be somewhere else, and you will keep yourself entertained. Like in this case, a person can be entertained in the gold and the greed. In spiritual life, when you come, you can be entertained with a lot of things. The Maya becomes very hyperactive there. I don't know if it becomes hyperactive, but I think because the awareness increases, you can see this Maya very strongly, very clearly. That is why this path of awareness is very, very important. Very important. If awareness is missing, a lot can go off. One can do so many mistakes and not even be aware of it. Awareness keeps you on the toe, always. It is not about good, bad, I'm saying, like pap kiya, punya kiya, nothing of that sort. Even if somebody falls, but they know immediately how to rectify and take care of it. And I was saying, Maya has caught up everywhere, even in the Himalayas. Be it Tirunamalai, Chidambaram, anywhere you go, any divine place, most divine places also you go. Inside a temple also there will be Maya. Inside an ashram there will be Maya. Most sacred places there will be Maya. So it all depends on what are you seeking. Whatever is the seeking inside, that will be reflected outside. Whatever is your deep seeking, that will reflect outside. You observe the world. Everybody gets what they are seeking. Everybody finds what they are seeking. Like if you walk on the roads and if there is a cobbler, a shoemaker, his eyes will only be on everybody's feet. He is not even aware of what traffic is going around him, what people are around him, what people are talking, and what ek mela bhi aage se gaya, or if some wedding procession also goes. He is not very aware because he is looking for customers. He is looking at the shoes. He is looking at the footwear all time because that is what he is seeking. Even if you place him in front of an ashram, if you place him in front of a temple, he will still seek only footwear. A beggar will look at your pocket, watch your ornaments, look at your dress to ascertain how you can be of help to that person. His or her view will only be on these directions. Same way, if somebody is very much superstitious and they want some jadoo tona done, and they go into the temples and they're seeking for priests and to some remedy, ek taviz or some dhaga to be tied in their hand or some yantra tantra, whatever. They will not be looking for God in the temple. When they enter the temple, they will be only looking where I can find an astrologer, where I can find a priest or something like that. A pickpocketer will be looking at only purses and pockets all the time. Same way, if somebody is full of lust, the girl will be looking for boys will be looking for girls, even in an ashram. The opposite gender will be viewing that. Whatever is inside, that will be seen outside. It is not that they're seeking outside, it is subconscious. It will just, that is what will be immediately seen. Nobody is hunting there, but only that will be seen. For example, if you fast, if you do an upvas, you will be passing through the road, same road that you pass every day. Every day there are all kind of variety of foods and all that, stalls are there, everything is there. But when your stomach full, you are only running, wanting to go home. I have to reach home, reach home, and you ignore all that, including the smells and all that include. But if you fast, the day you fast and you move through the same street, all kind of delicacy smells will start coming to you. Not just the smell will come, you will start looking in the direction, where is what, where is what, and suddenly all that you see will be food. The previous day, when your stomach full, you didn't notice the food, but now you see, when you're fasting, you will see all variety of food, har vyanjan, meaning what is inside is what will be seen outside. So if somebody is subconsciously having this idea of anything, any particular idea, I wanted to say something, then I stopped it. I didn't want to. That is all they will see outside. This is the Maya that will catch even the best of spiritual persons, even in the temple. I'm telling you. Forget other regular people. I'm telling about seekers. In the temple also, they will see only that. So it all depends on what you are seeking, and life of awareness will make you aware of the, oh my God, what is this? It will constantly keep you aware. What is this? Because even when you become aware, then you know that no, this is not what you're actually supposed to look at or supposed to seek. You have come there for God or whatever you have come there for. So you look at the tattva, you look at the garbhagriha, you are waiting when to enter. All your focus is only there. All your energies are only there. Your koshas are opened up and waiting for that. And you are receiving the transmissions, the energies, the grace, the blessings that's all around. In our case, when we go, my eyes only looks for mystics everywhere, constantly, and it will pierce and see through someone, somewhere or something it will spot, because the habit of seeking that. It's not that it only seeks mystics. Sometimes unwanted things also come out, but that's okay because I'm aware immediately. It's all the deep subconscious of some samskaras that keep coming up. That is why on the path of awareness, you always live very alive. You don't allow that to overwhelm you. And a little you lose, little, then savdhani ati durgatna gati. That was what exactly happened with Narada. That's what exactly happened with Vishwamitra. How much time did it take for them to miss out? So we cannot be overconfident in our views also. I'm beyond something, I'm done this. No. Alertness should always be humbly there, present, whatever we are doing, wherever we are going. So I try to sometimes put messages in direct or indirect ways when I see things can go out of hand. But how much we catch it is all upon us. All these things, all these kind of what you call unseen or subconscious acts only builds up samskaras or strengthens the samskara. That is what is important here. I'm not talking about pap kiya punya kiya. I'm just talking you're delaying the journey, that's all. You are only amplifying those aspects within you which will delay the whole process again. And don't know how much time it will take for you to actually nullify it. That is why desirelessness is the first key that they have mentioned in multiple books. I'm stating the same. Yesterday also I was talking about Chidakasha Gita. Desirelessness is one quality. Desirelessness means no greed, simply. Nullifying the greed aspect. Desire is nothing but greed. You want something, that's the desire. Anything that you want. Even if you want spiritual evolution, even if you want liberation, that's a greed. It comes from in the form of greed. I want that. How can you know if it is greed? You'll see even that, if there are 10 people, for example, and all are, let's say, all are standing in the line for liberation. And if somebody asks who wants it first, all the 10 will fight against each other and try to push and go ahead first, even for liberation. That is that greed pull that's coming. Anything I was mentioning about the seva, Nishkam seva, and all that. If you fight against each other, if you want to snatch away somebody's seva or dominate on a seva, that's all coming from that greed aspect, being greedy for punya. You have to be very, very alert and attentive on all these subtle aspects that's going on within. And when you see all these things, you'll settle down. There is no drive, there is no run for punyas. When there is no run for punyas, you will observe that wherever you sit, walk, move, that starts becoming a punya task. Wherever. Because automatically now you're balanced, you have centered yourself, and you will do things in a very balanced way. And that can generate more punyas. If you are completely centered and in state of awareness, you might notice so many people or things that need your attention and might be pulled forth to go and help. Like somebody who's fighting for any, like I told you, while I was in the ashram, people used to fight for plates. Let me wash your plate, let me wash your spoon, let me wash your utensils. Immediately snatching and pulling and all that. But at the same time, if people would have just become aware and silent and stopped this competition, this mad rush for even good deeds, and if they would have become centered and aware, suddenly a stillness would come in everybody. I used to imagine that situation where all this heck is going on. And then if you just become aware, everybody just becomes graceful, humble, quiet, simple, natural, and going about doing their work. That's the greatest punya we can do. The greatest punya we can do is mind our own business. I mean it. So when you mind your own business, you end up doing a lot of good things for others. Because suddenly now you're not confused, you're not spread out all over, scattered all over. You're not watching that which is unwanted. It's a fickle mind that notices all these things. Let me take that, somebody's plate. But if the mind, chanchal man, if it settles down and becomes just nischal, suddenly it will see a vast horizon of the whole area. The outlook will expand now because that centeredness has gone. So now the presence is everywhere, and then easily you can notice things which actually need your attention. There might be a old lady who's sitting down there and having bandara and trying to get up, not able to get up. Go and lift her up. When you're gone to wash your hands in the washroom, it might be out of soap or something. Quietly slip a soap there. Keep a soap there and go. You can go there and look at the plates where people have washed and kept. I'm totally against applying that, what you call the detergent or the soap. I never apply in any ashram. I would rather prefer ash or mud, because whenever people wash it with that detergent and they very, very fast they clean it with water, and One layer remains always on it. You always will see when you take the plate after it's dried, you'll see a white layer or patches of white. That's the detergent chemical, more dangerous. So in all that hurry of snatching plates, who knows, your own plate and other plates that you are washing, in that rush, you might leave more chemicals there and it might go into somebody else's stomach. Rather, if you would have minded your own business, you would have washed your own vessel very nicely and kept it aside. And so many other things you would have wanted. When you're keeping your plate slowly in awareness, you'll see many plates are having dry patches. You can take those plates and wash it and keep. This is seva. These are called sevas. You help where you're required, you help where you're not required. Silently you can do so many things, and you're walking and then you see footwears here and there. Slowly you can arrange it and keep with your hand, pick it up, keep it, instead of all this mad rush. Which is better? What I'm saying is, all these small things will not come to your notice when the mind is very chanchal. Then it goes only into this gross little things. We will not notice the bigger things in life. Same can happen when we travel. If you keep your eyes and ears open, your heart open, your awareness open, lot of things you'll notice. Lot of things you'll notice. You might notice the most deserving or needy beggar among crooks. You might just generally look at, oh, these are all crooks, and want to escape. But if you are just in awareness, you are not escaping anybody. You are just walking through them, and then suddenly you spot or identify a worthy and needy person. That's the power of awareness. When you walk in awareness, wherever you walk in awareness, you will definitely see something or the other that needs your attention. Only when you are aware can you cater to it. Simple as that. So life is very beautiful when you live in awareness. So many things happen. So many things happen. Anyways, I was coming back to the detachment stuff. Now the whole thing, even this point, if you take in detachment also, vairagya, non-attachment, desirelessness, these are all interconnected. What I'm talking, all these things are interconnected. What does mind your own business mean? Vairagya. Vairagya means you're not bothered into unwanted areas. You're just minding your own business. It's pull back. It's a retrieval. You withdraw from where you are not needed, like the kurma. Somebody was asking me in the temples while we are moving in Maharashtra, a lot of kurma is there, turtles. What does this kurma signify? It signifies the five senses, the four limbs and the head. It pulls everything inside and it is safe inside. The Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita talks about kurma, and says that your senses will only come out when you are absolutely needing it, otherwise, withdraw it within. How can you withdraw the senses within? There is only one way that we know to shut out the senses. We might close our eyes, blindfold our eyes, we might put in something, earbuds, we close our mouth, we tie our hands for no touch to happen, and then you close the nose also. This is the only way that we cut out from the five senses. But that's not the appropriate way. That is not what Lord Krishna is saying. Lord Krishna says when you align with the Lord, Supreme Lord, and when you stay centered in the Supreme Lord, automatically you are withdrawn from your senses. Like I said, if you are going into the temple, if you are in an aware state of awareness, awareness is alignment. You are aligned to what you are receiving there. You are all the time tapping into your koshas and studying what is happening there, investigating what is happening there, experiencing what is happening there. It's a different experience altogether. The moment you move into your koshas, the experiences are completely different. It's a very spiritual experience. If you stay that way aligned, you will see automatic kriyas happening. Kriyas will happen, energy will rush, all those things will happen. We think only during Kundalini awakening, this will happen. No, the energy rush, because the more active or alert or awake you become about your koshas, like your pranamaya kosha, immediately there is energy bringing up there. You don't have to pull also that energy. You don't have to do a particular kriya to pull that energy there. Just if you become absolutely awake and alert and aware about that particular kosha, you'll see a lot of activity happening. Suddenly you'll feel energetic. Suddenly. And that's one of the secrets that I shared. And if you're climbing hills or walking long distances where you feel you're going to get tired, even without sitting for a while, one hour you can continuously walk. When your awareness is kept on the pranamaya kosha, because the brimming energy builds up there. Now you're not doing any activity and nobody will even know what you're doing. Your awareness is such powerful. I don't know, we have not explored these areas, and I don't know how this works, because these things have very spontaneously come to me. I have not read this in books. You'll not find it in any books, and I doubt if anybody is hardly going to talk about these things. This is my experience. And these all what I'm teaching or trying to share is all come very spontaneously, including the meditations or whatever I do. They're very spontaneous. They're not in my mind. They're not so-called downloaded from somewhere or referred from somewhere. If you want, check it out anywhere in the internet. You won't find all these things. So what I mean to say is the awareness that we have is very powerful. If we invest good time in that, a lot of things will start coming out from there. And that is my whole intention. That is my whole mission of this life itself, whatever it is, or how much ever I can do it. No targets. It's to make you aware of your own awareness, so that you can independently brim up your awareness, expand it, experiment with it, introspect with it, work with it, experience it, and then finally know all the answers from within. As simple as that. But that can happen only with proper commitment. If somebody is just having an idea, oh, this is great thing, great stuff, and okay, let me join your class for it, it's not going to happen. It has lot of factors. Many factors are there. First is the pure intention. There are some cranky guys also who don't like my work, but they want to attend. How is it going to help? It's not going to help in any way. It will never help. Never it is going to happen. Never at all. I can vouch for it. Not just with me. This crookedness, this cunningness doesn't work anywhere, because that is Shuddha Bhavana. It defeats that bhavana. Bhav re, sab kuch bhav re. If your bhav teda hai, it's gone, everything will gone. Nothing will be received from anywhere. Even to go to God, go to a temple, do any tapas, go to any gurus. The most powerful guru also you do. Agar niyat mein khot hai, gone case. Everything will go off. So this is the sutra, this is the key. Many great siddhas like Tirumularji and all that, when they wrote the Tirumandiram, they locked it. They locked it in such a way that they decoded it in prose and poetry. If you read the Tirumandiram, you will not understand. You'll have to first understand their poetry. Where is where all the knots are? It opens there. So it's a very safe way of doing. Like for example, the Bij mantras. My Gurudev, he decoded many of these Bij mantras. It is intent. And why decode? Why are they coded, first of all? They're coded because of crooks. There are all kind of crooks running around. This means niyat khoti, and they will never get this. If they get, there are enough experiences like examples like Bhasmasura. The intention and greed can go so negative that they can kill, they can want to destroy the creator itself. Man can go to any extent. Man's vikaras can go to any extent. So it doesn't work. So it's stupidity to think that there is some shortcut or some way to get it. And you maybe decode it in some way, but short ho jayega. There will be a short circuit immediately after that, like the siddhis and all that. Dangerous. You do any kind of tapas for so many years that this, and you get siddhis. Siddhis have limited period. I don't know if you know that. सिद्धीज ऐसा नहीं है कि एक बार प्राप्त हुआ तो इट इज देयर फॉर यू लाइफ लॉन्ग एंड लाइफ टाइम्स नो it exhausts itself depending on how you use it also. There also there are many catches, there are many pros and cons there are many drawbacks also in that. लेन देन का चक्कर है, and if it boomerangs back, that is a big problem. And generally siddhis last only for 12 years generally. So after that it retracts itself. So it's an unwanted area. It's all comes from the fickle mindedness of the mind, the vikaras, the ego consciousness, that it can go and adogati, these are all the unwanted aspects of life. Man takes so much pleasure putting the other person down, trying to put guilt in him or fear in him, trying to just, they're only like what you call mongers who just want to destroy. You must be seeing even the crowds. They take great pleasure in just going about and banging the public property or the government property. Nothing. I've seen sometimes when I'm walking, somebody will take a stick and just bang the vehicles that are parked or break the lights. Fun for them. I've seen sometimes here only in my neighborhood, many years back when I was walking down the street at night, children used to take the teenagers, college going guys, take stones and burst the poles, like the electric poles, the lamps on the electric poles. Great pleasure they got, and do all kind of mischief. Sometimes do the mischief even in temples and mosques and all that stuff, and create a lot of commotion. So it is an enjoyable event for them. So there are such mischief mongers again who have no other. Their sole agenda is only this: destroy and pull down people and see negativity, bring down to negativity, and all those things. And our mythology has proven so many times such asuras are eradicated with time. Most of the time, it is their own thing that they do it for themselves. What they try to do to others often happens to themselves. We know very clearly what happened with him when somebody tried to poison him. He was sitting there once in Manjeshwara near Mangalore, and one sorcerer came and tried to poison him. He had a cigarette or BD with poisonous tobacco in it. So he wanted Nityananda to smoke that. Nityananda said, "Don't do it." He was jealous. The sorcerer was very jealous because he was doing a lot of black magic stuff, voodoo stuff here and there, and he used to harass the females, do wrong things with them, and many people were very scared of him there, the whole of Kerala. And in that place, Nityananda came, perhaps as a Leela, because these great ones are always there. They protect in very different ways. So Nityananda came there, and this guy, the jealous guy, got to know that Nityananda is come there. So he said, "How can he be a bigger one than me? Because people are now going to him, and he's losing his attention." So he didn't like that. So he went to Nityananda and challenged him to smoke this. So Nityananda was very quiet. Neutrality, centeredness, aware, completely aware. He said, "Don't do it." And two, three times he tried, and Nityananda said, "Don't do it. It's not good." But he said, "If you have this and that," and threatened him, "If you are really so great and all that, Take this challenge. Why are you scared of me and all that things he said. You are very scared, that is why you're doing this. Nityananda again said, don't do it, because he had no intention to harm anyone. So he was just minding his business, Nityananda. And it was forced upon him, and then he took one big pull of smoke. He took it, Nityananda. For some time, Nityananda was kind of sweating. People noted him to sweat for some time, for a few seconds or minute. But immediately after that, the man fell. Appaya, his name was, the sorcerer. He fell down, badly in pain, shouting and howling. People rushed him to the hospital, but before they could reach the hospital, he died. Nityananda was still neutral. All that he was trying to tell is, don't do it, don't do it. Not because he was scared. He knew that whatever he is doing, he is going to take it. It is going to affect him only. He knew that it's not going to affect Nityananda. He is going to be affected by it. So he was very concerned about him, and he was saying, don't do it for your own good. He didn't listen. So this all comes from greed. What we are talking, the desires. It comes from where? The desire to be great, desire to be one step ahead of others, desire to be known, desire to be something. And we are in the process of becoming nothing. And here is a desire to become something. So when you get into that mode, is what creates more and more desires, and which the Chidakasha Gita is completely oppositely talking about. That is why all these small so-called petty things also, if you are very alert and aware about, you'll avoid doing them, and you will not enhance, you will not fuel them. If you don't fuel them, you are not strengthening your vikaras, your samskaras. If you don't strengthen your vikaras and samskaras, they eventually die down. And so dies down the desires. Because desires are made out of these samskaras only. So if you don't fuel up these samskaras, the desires begin to lose its grip. As simple as that. You can't overnight say that from tomorrow I'm not going to have any desire. That's nonsense. We all have desires. It's okay to have desires. But the awareness should be that the desires turn first from gross to subtle. Worldly desires, you can always keep a watch and see that you're not falling into it, the trap of it. Be careful and allow the spiritual desires or the higher desires to be activated. Don't go with the philosophy of desire is not good, and so I should not make it. No, the whole idea is to understand desires and slowly diminish it. Like understand the ego and slowly diminish. You cannot kill the ego just like that. Today I am not going to have ego. You can't do that. From tomorrow I'll tell you, guarantee I'll not have ego. That itself, that statement itself is ego. So becoming aware of these things is much more powerful than trying to do something about it. So that's how we go step by step, just in awareness, and live your life normally, neutral. Become aware of it, live your life. Don't go to do anything about it. That's the second step. Like I have a vikara. Oh, now what do I do about it? People talk to me about it. They say, I am aware of so many flaws. After this shifting into awareness, I've shifted, and all the time I'm seeing so many things. Now what to do? I'm tensed. The whole idea is to just become aware of it, not to do anything about it. Because when you completely become aware of it, you know that is not in the right place. That thought or that sanskara, it's not in the right place. That's enough. So when you keep on just repeating to yourself, or in the knowing that it's not meant for me, it is not in the right place, slowly that will manifest and it will not be in the right place. It will leave. That's the whole idea about. Without doing anything, there is so much of doing that's happening. This is how you slowly reduce your desires. Become very active of all the materialistic desires that you have, and just ask, is it really worthwhile? Do I really need it? What can I fulfill with it? How long is it going to be? Is this coming from some deep need of something that I have within, that is being replaced by this desire? Is this something else that I'm craving for, that is slowly trying to ask for something else? We can have so many things. Desires are mostly, outward desires are mostly inward desires that are not fulfilled many times. When something inner fulfillment is not there, it gravitates towards the outer fulfillment. You always look at it. Simple funda, I'm telling you. Why do you do what you do? Whatever you're doing. Why are you doing what you're doing? All the desires only you see. Why? Why is that? You will notice, if you sit and introspect, you will just see that it is the pursuit of happiness. With every desire, the only fulfillment that you're seeking is happiness. There is nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. You might say, no, it's not happiness. Something what I want. Some position that I want. See, what will happen when you get the position? You feel happy. You want an ice cream. What will happen when you eat an ice cream? You'll feel happy. Somebody might challenge and say, no, 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 it's not that way. My desire is to hurt somebody. Yes, your desire to hurt somebody. When you hurt somebody, what will happen to you? You feel happy. Anything you take, any desire you take, it is only to make you happy. It's that urge to be happy. Because why? Your Swarupa, your real Swarupa is happiness itself. The nature, what do we know the nature of Shiva Tattva as? Satchidananda. So that's a blissful state, that is the final state, that is the supreme state, which is always blissful, eternal blissful. So that is the quality even in every spark, that is every soul, to become blissful, to experience that bliss that is there within. And what do I talk about? When you start living a life of awareness, there is an inner cheerfulness, inner happiness that is there. A joy, a happiness for no reason. You look at all the happiness in the world, there has to be a reason. Every happiness in the world will have some reason. That is why when somebody is laughing, you'll ask, क्यों भाई? किस लिए खुश हो रहे हो? कुछ तो हुआ है. You need a karan. You need a reason to be happy. So we try to find why is that person smiling. तुम हंस भी दो if you're just sitting like this. When I sit sometimes just like this with a smile, what are you thinking? What happened? What is there to happen? Nothing happened. I'm not thinking anything. Then why are you smiling? Hare. Means you need a reason. The world has gone into that definition that to be happy means something is connected to it. You achieve something, you get something, and you become happy. Something that you like, you become happy. That is the whole science of desire. Everything, all your desires are nothing but to keep you happy. You want to marry that person. Why? Marrying that person and being with that person makes me happy. You want to have a child. Why? Because having a child makes me happy. You look at it. What happens when you hold the child, when you treat the child, when you hug the child, when you take care of the child, when you talk to the child, when you walk with the child, when you run with the child, when you play with the child? What's happening inside? You are happy. But what is happening? You are searching for a reason to be happy. Some reason you need all the time to make you happy. When this is ignorantly not looked into, the run will be outside. Check it out. The run will always be outside. You want to go outside now, seek something, get something. You see, a person cannot sit calmly for 5 minutes also. Immediately there is a pursuit for happiness. Why? Because the person is unhappy. Why the person is unhappy? Because where the happiness is, that person is not centered there. Happiness is within. But he has no time or no awareness. So he is not connected within, he is not within his own awareness, so he becomes unhappy. Now when he is unhappy, he wants to fill that gap with happiness. So he can't sit for 5 minutes because that 5 minutes is unhappiness for him. He wants to persistently and continuously keep himself happy. What happened in 5 minutes? He's sitting idle. What happened before that? He was happy. Why? He was watching a movie. The movie just ended. So the happiness that he was deriving from there, it was continuously supplying. The moment the movie ended, now what? What is the next thing I should do? So 5 minutes passed. I'm thinking what to do, what to do. Continues, not happy, not centered. And then suddenly, okay, let me go to the kitchen. I go open the fridge and just put something into my mouth. Wow, makes me happy. The feeling of happiness. And चबाओ उसको मजे से करो, enjoy it, relish it. And just 2 minutes later, the relishing is over. He drinks water now. Now what? Pick up the mobile. Check out this messages. Tuck, 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 tuck. Something, some engagement to keep happy. This, if you identify, you can cut out a lot of desire. To get into desirelessness, you can cut out from this. If you just become aware of these patterns unknowingly, that how the mind is running outside. That is why people who lack awareness cannot be with themselves. You cannot be with yourself. You need something all the time. And that is the reason I doubly tell that make yourself alone. Because when you are alone, try to find how you can make yourself happy without having to seek something outside. First, learn to pamper yourself. That is the first step, gross step itself. Okay? Gross step towards enjoying your own company. You sit there, relax, give yourself a massage, give yourself some good music. Now with awareness, not that mad rush for something, you know, unknowingly, ignorantly putting it into the body. Not the mad rush. Now you know, in awareness, you're doing it. That I am with myself and giving myself company. Because those who cannot sit even for 5 minutes with themselves are the most boring people, I'm sure. Because you can't sit with yourself. How do you expect somebody else to sit with you? Obviously, because we can't sit with ourselves, how can others sit with us? We are unbearable to ourselves. Because we are unbearable to ourselves, we now seek somebody from outside. And that outside people also run because the energy can be sensed. That is why people become lonely. So if all these patterns are just observed, you'll settle down slowly, 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 and start relishing yourself. When you start supplying all that you need for yourself, the desire to go out for it will start first ending. The first step. You need love. You'll keep looking out for it out. This person, that person, my husband, my wife, my children, my house. You don't get it there, you are depressed. Oh, my family doesn't love me. So family doesn't love me. What is the solution? If you ask an aware person, that person will say, love yourself. But we don't do that. We don't do that because we don't believe we can supply what we need. We always believe somebody else is going to supply. Somebody has to supply. I deserve that they have to supply because I'm married to a person or because I'm a mother or father of a child. I deserve that. So, in other words, I'm demanding that attention, that care, that support, that love from them, which they will never give. And if they don't give, we are mad. So if you ask an aware person, they'll say, supply that those things to yourself. No, I can't believe that. I just can't believe that. Family is not giving it. Home is not giving it. Let me go out. Let me take a long detour and come back and see who all I can get love from. Then I go out, whomever I meet, friends, anybody in the society, relatives, anybody, even strangers. The seeking will be to get attention from them. You observe this very carefully. If lack of love is there and you're not getting it from somewhere, the whole attention will all the time be, where will I get love? Wait, what did I say? Chambar ki jo hoti hai, cobblers, attention will always be on the feet of people because that's where his seeking is. Similarly, if love is your seeking, all the time your attention will be who can give me that attention. So you'll crave for that one look from someone. You'll crave for somebody's little attention. You'll crave for that little touch from someone, that little gesture from someone, little good words from someone, little hug from someone, little kind word from someone, a smile from someone, a glance from someone. Just somebody looks at me, that's enough. If somebody is looking at me, I get some attention. Now again look back again, will I get a second attention? Then a third attention, then a prolonged attention. Can you see the catch? It's all because I feel I'm incomplete. I cannot give all that to myself, so I am having to take it from others. And our whole life goes in this unawareness, complete unawareness we live. And all these patterns keep on happening with us. And we remain incomplete. The whole process of attachment also comes from here. Desire and attachment are not two different things. Desire also comes from this only. What is the desire? To be loved, to be cared for. The family doesn't give me. I go out. Outside people don't give me. Now where will I go? To Mars or to the moon? I'm sure if you go to the moon also, nobody will love you there. Because we'll go on doing all the stupid acts. We might even go on expecting love from aliens. Not a big deal. So it never ends. It just never ends. The pursuit of happiness is the cause of desires. Please understand this. Before you try to kill your desires, it's not going to happen. But I am very surprised and amused that instead of spirituality talking about how to get into a state of desirelessness, we are actually bombarding with more desires. We are here to grant so many wishes of people, one after the other, never ending desires. Just you do this, you get this, you do that, you get that. Continuously bombarding. You get health, you get wealth, you get relationships, you get success, you get abundance, you get prosperity. Nobody says you get moksha somewhere. Very difficult. You get freedom from all this. I have not heard any such advertisement. That if you do this, you will get freedom from the doing. Does anybody say this? 1 second. Something is irritating me here. Spirituality is supposed to do this. This is the work of spirituality because the world is full of market. The world is full of shops. All the shops have been set there. Why do we need shops in spirituality? Now it's none of my business if there are shops running there. But when people come to me and they're stuck in all these things, and then when I see, oh my God, even I was stuck in it. Unawareness. Awareness will show all these things. Do I need the shops? Because business is business. worldly or spiritual, it both works on just one principle: demand and supply. Where there is a demand, there will be a supply. As simple as that. There are two ways to look at it. One is that you just supply what you have. The other is you look out in the market as what is that the people need and deliver that to them. It is very pricey. I remember one guy had approached me 2 years back when he was seeing my videos here, and he was especially impressed with the Chidakasha Gita that was being published every single day, and the little videos and talks that were happening. So he contacted me some ways and he said he wanted to talk, and then I found out he was a marketing person professionally, but a spiritual person, and he's a nice guy. Sorry, he's a nice guy, very nice guy. So he somehow said that he likes the content that I'm doing and all that, and he said it can expand to a great extent. You don't know the probabilities of how it can expand, and probably you have not put your attention there. I said yes, I have not looked into it. Then he sat down and he bifurcated and he broke down and he said, if this is presented this way, if this is presented this way, if we make videos of this, and if we take, instead of your all long sessions, and if we take material from there and put it in this manner, it will have great demand. Because you are not understanding, he explained to me, you are not understanding the need of the world. You don't understand the fundamentals of how these things work, demand and supply. You have to study that, you have to monitor that. That is why even in the pages, Facebook page, there is a lot of analytics. If I look into it, there is a lot of analytics. It gives you reading so accurately, like every hour, how many are watching, who are watching, what are the kind of people, what is the gender, what is the country, everything it gives. And how many people have watched for 1 minute, how many retained it for 8 minutes, how many went for 50%, how many went saw the whole thing. It gives you a bifurcation of everything. And then it even gives a suggestion: boost your post. This is missing in your post. Automatically, if you boost, it will reach 300 people if you pay this amount. If you pay this amount, it will reach 4,000 people. If you pay this amount, it will reach 10,000 people. And the 10,000 or 4,000 or 400, you can determine who you should reach. If I target, like, it should reach only the females, it will go there. If it should reach only of one country, it will go there. If it should reach on certain age category, it will go only to that people. If it goes to certain kind of interest people, or who are interested in certain ways, it will target and go there. All these tools are there, and I see it every day, and I see all the spiritual giants using it also. Not a big deal. It's called paid promotion. You pay from behind and your post is just marketed. Superb. But you got to pay a price for it. And then it goes suddenly into the notice. You must have seen the ads coming up. You know, suggested ads and all coming up. It comes from there. Those who are paid for it. So this guy was telling me 2 years back, this is what you got to do. This is how you got to do. I said, okay, what you're saying is, it appeals to me, because then it can reach to who it has to reach. And fine, you tell me what to do. Because I have no idea in this. I have not investigated. And then he did it. And then he started showing me the flaws, and he started telling me, if you do this in this manner, it can happen, this can happen, that can happen. And it went to such an extent that all that I was seeing was only money thing, and follower thing, and so many followers you'll get, and so many people will click your ads, and so many automatic subscriptions and automatic likes. It is all designed to make the person click on like and subscribe. The whole science is built up on that. I said, oh my god, this is deadly actually. And then he was guiding me. He's a nice person. He's a very nice person. He had no wrong intention, but he was trying to help me. And he was saying, you can get paid in such manner, such manner. I could understand that, okay. In a way to sustain, that's fine. And he helped me in a certain way. But when I saw it is getting too much into that, too much of commercial kind of thing, I said, this is moving in that direction. Then I told him quietly one day, let it happen in whatever way it has to go. Let us not. Oh, you don't understand. It has a lot of potential. I said, when that potential will come, let it come. If it doesn't come, also it's okay. Agenda is not to um, exploit this potential in such a way that you got to do all these kind of practices. And it's not that I have not done this. I've seen, because I've worked in the this industry. I have I have full first hand experience in these things, especially the publicity and marketing aspects. I know how to publicize, how to market it. And then I said, okay, let's stick to only creativity, whatever creative stuff is coming, and let's try to make it as good as possible. Even the presentation, I try my best to make it as good as possible. But yes, of course, without changing the curtains and bringing new curtains, without buying new dresses for me and sitting here, without having new setups and doing that, not good at that. That also I was told, you should take care of these things. Your grooming, your outings, you should change the locations. You're sitting only in one place, one couch all the time. Everything looks so same and boring. You are also wearing the same boring stuff. We change your location, change your dress, change your get up, change your geographical stuff. I said, oh my god, back into all these things again. So I just dropped that idea and I couldn't deliver those things to him, and somehow he also lost interest in me. And he also went away. So that's very funny. So now also I do understand, but very poor in all these things, these kind of stuff. So I just try to keep it. But yes, those friends have really helped me to set up some certain things and add ads to it and all those things and all. Good. So something is running up now and things are better than before. But what I'm trying to tell you is the whole catch is about this. It's all about the gifts, what the demand and supply. What the demand is in the market. There are two ways to look at it. Either I look at what the audience is looking and keep studying it, investigating. Okay, the market yahan pe hai, and then start making that kind of content. This happens in spirituality. I know people who make content depending on what the people want. They make products, spiritual products, depending on what is the demand in the market. That is why you will see all new products coming with the change of time, all the time. According to me, at least, spirituality doesn't need so many things. In olden days, great olden days, there was one method that was given, taught. And most of the time, it was not even rigorous tapas, it was just one guru mantra that was given, whispered to the ears of the disciple. And the disciple went on doing that, just one thing continuously. And they got great results because they were only focused on one single thing. And consistency was there, discipline was there, time was there. They didn't have all these kind of distractions. The commitment was there. So things happened fast even with one particular practice. Today we have 25, 30 different practice, but yet nobody is reaching anywhere. Everybody has dipped their hands into all the 25 different practices, sometimes from one place or sometimes even from 10 different places. So 10 different places, 25 into 10 on an average is like 250 things they have got in their plate. Just in the understanding that the more the better. No, it doesn't work that way. So there are two ways of delivering these messages. One is you just deliver what you have with you. Who takes it, takes it. The other is keep looking out into the market as what is in place and what is happening and build up that kind of content. So if you look very carefully at the YouTube market, there constantly there is a watch on what is the niche, what is the most happening thing, and then you build up content on that and you give it. I'm telling you right now also, if I just leave this awareness thing and convert this awareness into something else, something very glamorous, something very nice, and then target it with benefits. You do this, I know this is very casual. If you just practice awareness properly, the other aspects also starts flowing in. I don't highlight it, that's all. Like health, curing, healing, takes place, but I don't highlight it, because then the whole purpose will be for that. Wealth and abundance also will start flowing in. I don't highlight it because then it will go in that. That is the catch of all these things. Then the whole purpose of all these things will be where it is, and the whole distractions will come in. Unwanted attention will go into unwanted areas. That is the reason I'm just sticking to this old fashioned model of just the same thing. So who needs that tattva will look into it, that's all. Only those who are very serious can understand what this is about. This concept is beyond anybody's understanding. How can people sit for 5 hours, 4 hours? A bunch of fools. Foolish it is. Mad people. 4 hours glued to the mobile, listening to something. What is there in that? You would have earned so much of money if you would have done something else. What is this? You're wasting your time in all these things. 7 hours, 8 hours. What is the fun in that? I don't understand what is the fun in this. Why are you wasting your so much of time in this? This is beyond the catch of those guys. Because if they would have known, then things would have been different. Nobody can understand this field. Just like if I go and sit next to a naked Avadhuta, the people who know me, the society who knows me, and the friends who know me, they will laugh. And they've always laughed. Look at what this guy is doing. Wasting his life. Wasting his life just moving from one place to the other. What is he searching? God knows. Going with all kind of madmen. What kind of people? What is he up to? He's lost his mind. Somebody says, divorce made him that. See, it can go to what extent, bechara. Kitna dukh, pida. And most of the time, even in the family, I'm very happy that they take this reason. Because they say, अच्छा है चलो आत्महत्या वगैरह कुछ नहीं किया, दारू वगैरह पी के गटर में नहीं पड़ा, चलो ठीक है कुछ तो कर रहा है, जाने दो, डिप्रेशन. आई एम सेफ, ओके, ऐसे यस यस, गुड. I don't see who's mad here. I know who's mad really, but it's not good. It's not courteous to tell. I don't know who's really wasting their lives. They tell me I'm wasting my life. They can't see who's wasting their lives. They see it is so simple, doing nothing and closing your eyes and sitting somewhere in meditation and all that. काम धंधा नहीं है और आलसीपन है, रीजंस है कुछ नहीं करने की. So easy to do all this stuff. Or avoiding hard work, because the world lives on hard work. You got to slog and sweat it out, literally. And I tell them, yeah, it's damn easy. Very easy to close your eyes and sit for 2 hours. Can you try it for 2 minutes? The easy stuff. Come sit next to me. Not 2 hours or something, just 2 minutes. No thought state. Who's fooling whom? Who's running away from reality? Who's the one who's running away from reality? That is why these kind of things are threat, differently seen as a threat to life. And that's good, because naturally you end up being alone because you don't fit into this world. This one that is madly running behind. Subah utte hi, early morning, their pursuit begins in the search for happiness outside. And they call it office, they call it work, they call it business, whatever they call it. Till night, their pursuit is outside. And when they're tired, they come back to their homes in the pursuit of happiness, to get some happiness from home or from their spouses, and finally hit the bed in seek of happiness. And from morning to evening, whatever they have done, whole 24 hours circle, they have never got. Even if they have got, they are not able to sustain it. The whole problem is there. They will get some happiness, but they can't sustain it. They try to pull it, but it's not happening. And then they become desperate. Desperate. Like you want to eat an ice cream, you go and eat. But just after, as the ice cream is finishing, you will know that, oh, my happiness is going melting out. So you buy another ice cream. How many can you eat? After some time, it's satiated. Then you feel full. You feel not good enough. Then the same happiness turns into sadness. You might have a cold, or you might overeat and have indigestion. The same happiness turns into sorrow. You might get into a relationship for happiness. You will get happiness. But in the process of sustaining it, preserving it, and stretching it apart, your whole life falls apart. And that turns into sorrow. This is the drama of life that the world is undergoing. They go everywhere for happiness, they get it, then they try to pull it and stretch it. And when they don't get it there, they feel the opposite, the sorrow. इसलिए कहते हैं सारा दुनिया दुखी है. Despite all the pursuits they are having for happiness, they're all chasing happiness like anything, but none of them are happy because they don't understand the simple funda that what appears disappears. Polarity. सुख दुख, सुख आया तो दुख रहेगा ही. They try to get into the dual aspect, which I said, and they stick on to that and they catch on to that and they say now is the positive time, happy time, and goody goody times, and this should be there. No, as per the law it is coming down, but they try hard, and when they come down they get depressed for the next cycle till it goes up again, waiting and being desperate and working new things out, doing what all, or even some are hibernating in depression. Some are hospitalized, some taking medicines, some are alcohol, booze, and conked off in the slow period. And slowly, when the thing goes up again, they're again hyperactive and they say, oh, once again, it's life. Only to again fall down. They don't understand this principle of polarity, duality, because not awake, not aware. They cannot watch this and observe their patterns of what's happening, and they don't know how to get free from it. So that's the subject of awareness. When you come to the center, when you don't stick with any of this, because you know it's not permanent, and you know 100% you cannot get happiness from this world. Even if you get it, it's temporary, it's going to change. Guaranteed. Foolproof. Test it out. Test in every aspect of this world. इस संसार में हाथ डाल के देखो, हर एक चीज में. You will get pleasure, but soon you will get pain also, because it's a pleasure pain principle. Check it out. Investigate everything. The people who come into spirituality are the people who have burnt. They've checked it out. It doesn't work. But often they see it's not working, whatever we are trying. At least they're awakened and at least noticed that happiness is not permanent. बस उतना ही काफी है. That is awakening into spirituality. They become spiritual from there. Only thing that they notice is happiness is not permanent. I went into this relationship, this happened. I tried another, this happened. I went for a career, this happened. I begetted a child and got a child, and then this happened. I got money and then this happened. I got position, this happened. I got status and this happened. I got a vehicle and then this happened. I got a property and then this happened. Everything is happening, but the happiness is not sustaining. So somewhere in their life, after many knocks, they will understand, oh my God, there's something wrong with this world that I'm living in. Something is not balanced here. So when they begin their investigation, they will understand, oh, wherever you put your hands here, it's it's not that the world is bad or the world doesn't, it's not about the world. It's my sticking with the world. How I stick, why do I stick? Expectation. See, first becomes the desire for happiness outside. For that desire, you go and catch on to something. When you catch on to something, what happens? You've clutched onto it because you're expecting from there. Expectations begin. Now you're expecting and waiting. And the same clutching burns your hand. This clutching is called attachment. More. Wherever you're invested, your moha, your attachment, you'll see that you're clutched on. Why? Some hope is there. Something to get from there. Something to get is definitely there. Attachment cannot come selflessly. It is not unconditional love. All attachments are conditional love, including your children, your parents, your spouses. Check it out. Even if you don't like what I'm saying, there is selfishness in every relationship, even if it is a mother, father, son, daughter, brother, even mother, father. Go very deep and see. You'll come to know. Let's get this straight. When you like your father or your mother and you want them to be around you, whoever, father or mother, or let's say the other way also, the children, there is some expectation out. There is some expectation that the other person should give you. It might be love, it might be support, it might be caring, it might be security, it might be somebody who's taking care of your needs. Just take that person out of your life. What will happen if you that person doesn't exist in your life? What first thing, what is it that you're going to miss? You'll say, I miss the company, the presence of that person. What is the presence doing to you? Some assurance कि कोई है, मैं हूं तुम्हारे साथ, तुम अकेले नहीं हो. Isn't it? So अकेलापन दूर करने के लिए है वो रिश्ता. Whoever it is, whomever you are close to, only first, mainly security. Because every single being is afraid of being alone. The more afraid you are of being alone, the more clutching to relations, whoever it is. And then we outer superficially glorify it in the name of father, mother, son, daughter, brother, sister, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. The hardcore truth is this: we are scared to be alone. That is why we love their company. The persons who are not scared to be alone, you will see vairagya happening in them. Why? Same process. The clutching goes on because there is no expectation from outside. I am fully getting what I want from within. I'm not alone. I know I am not alone. I'm on this journey alone. I come alone, so way. But again, actually, I'm not alone. And I'm my best company. So when that happens, everything starts shifting inside. Dependency reduces outside. When dependency reduces outside, unclutching will automatically happen. Vairagya will automatically come. Why the vairagya is not coming? Why attachment is not going? It's because of this factor. Again, from yesterday and today I'm discussing only on two things: desires and non-attachment, vairagya and desires, desirelessness. no desires. Because yesterday I told you we were ending with Chidakasha Gita talks about Vairagya and desirelessness. So I thought today's session, before getting into that book also, or even if I don't go into the book today, it's okay. But I wanted to emphasize in detail about this. Only when you sit with yourself and sit with this truth, what I'm talking to you, and when you accept it, not don't just accept because somebody is telling you, because you trust this guy, you have to know, experience it, what I'm telling you. First hand, put yourself in the subjective experience and see. Don't see it objectively and subjectively both. You'll understand it. You'll realize something. Maybe you have realized something today. Something important. That what you thought is not what it is. Detachments comes from there. So if I tell you this sutra, it will be very easy for you now to become aware. You don't have to cut off immediately. Oh no, this is, you don't have to go all that way. But you are aware of the truth. You are accepting something from within now. Oh, so the lack is lying here. So gadbad yahan hai. So you'll become aware. I can't talk this to immature people. They'll shoo me away or they'll shoot me also. Because it's so gruesome. They can't take it. Man can take anything, but can't take these truths, eternal truths, which comes to their, ये अब निजी मामला है, निजी मामला है, ठीक है. These are areas there nobody wants others to enter. छोड़ो, खुद भी enter नहीं करना चाहते हैं. They don't want to go into that space. It's too scary actually. Actually, it is too scary. To even listen to this, it's very scary. But seekers of truth go beyond all these things. They don't bother about these things because they know ultimately today or tomorrow I have to transcend this. And if I have to transcend this, I have to accept this truth again and again, some or the other time. Like yesterday, I was telling, how much are you going to run? Where are you going to run? If some eternal truths are opening about your attachments to your people and places, and that is something that gives you scare. So just because it is going to give you scare, do you think it's not going to happen? It is going to come right in front of your face one day. What will you do then? Because there is no escape in this. It has to be dealt with. So what is better? Getting rude shock one day, or getting the shock now and digesting the shock properly, and then getting into awareness and then overcoming it and transcending it. What a freedom that is, mukti. For me, this makes more sense than living in life so much stuck and in pain and worry and in that fear. People don't accept death, but they live in fear. They love living their next 20, 30, 50 years in fear. But they will not die once and overcome it. That is why in spirituality said that you have to die before you die. Then only you experience actual spirituality. That openness to the truth must be there. Otherwise, it is time pass spirituality. I tell most of my friends who sit with me sometimes for advice and all that, I said, time pass karo yaar tum. What do you mean time pass? It is time pass what you're doing, because spirituality means unwinding, opening up, every new opening, and you see deeper layers like the onion. It has layer after layer, layer after layer. You are going deeper within. But if you don't want to open up the layers and go inside, you're having fun in the name of spirituality. Have fun. It is one's divine duty to do whatever they want in their life. It's their free will. Have fun. That's fine. But when you're having fun and then you feel, no, there is pain in that fun. And I don't understand, why am I not feeling funny though I'm having all this fun? There's something that is deeply missing in me. There is this deep sadness, deep grief. I don't know. I'm not able to overcome it. Whatever I do, this doesn't go off. Please help me. Then I tell them these things. because now the openness is both the ears are open to at least accept something. And the irony is, even after telling this, many of them will not accept it. For some, it is rude shock. For some, it is escapism. They want to just escape. So next time they see me, they will escape. Their house people will escape. You can't digest these things. I've told this many times. I just stopped visiting almost all my friends. I don't go to any place unless there is this swikriti and acceptance that they accept me as a raw bomb there. So if they call me somewhere to their homes or something, they must know who I am. Who I am in the sense I am going to explode. I am the way I am. I am not going to adhere to their rules there because they have some certain rules. Every house, oh my god, it's exactly what I read here. Wow. Let me read this. It's so similar, this book. Yeah, this sannyasi also had a similar situation. Yeah, let me complete it. I was saying every house and every family has, and every structure has their own kind of rules and regulations there. So I cannot adapt there. It's very difficult. Adapting in those places is just like adapting and compromising in this world. So I don't want to compromise with the world, so I'm withdrawn from the world. Nothing to do. That's why all these people who are in deep spirituality, they are withdrawn from the why. That is why Himalayas completely withdrawn from the world. चाहिए ही नहीं तुम्हारा संसार. रहो, खुश रहो. ए तुम भगोड़े हो, भाग के गए हो हिमालय. वो हंस के बोलते हैं, भाग कौन रहा है, हमें दिख रहा है, भगोड़ा कौन है, हमको दिख रहा है यहाँ से. तुम भाग रहे हो उसके अंदर, तुम्हारे संसार के अंदर ही. एक रिलेशनशिप से दूसरा रिलेशनशिप, एक जॉब से दूसरा जॉब, एक घर से दूसरा घर, भाग रहे हो, निरंतर भाग रहे हो, भगौड़े बन के बैठे हो और खुद को समझ रहे हो कि बहुत बड़ा तीर चलाया हो. संसार में ही फंसे हो, ये स्टक कंप्लीटली इन द संसार. उसके अंदर ही दौड़ है तुम्हारी, उससे बाहर दौड़ नहीं है, बाहर की दिशा में दौड़ नहीं है. तो those who run out have the guts, I must tell. They have the guts. It's not easy, dear ones. It's easy to preach. Very easy to preach. Not easy. All those who have gone towards the Himalayas or to the Kandra and to the forest and to the wilderness and to the caves have the guts to live alone. You see their aloneness. Who will stay in the jungles? Can you even think of it? With beasts and all the unknown territories. Can anybody do that? Malaleshwari, a female, a beautiful female, walks out of the house and moves into the jungle. Can anybody do that? You call her Bhagoda? Heights of stupidity. Oh, they are all selfish. They are thinking about themselves. All the people who go to the Himalayas, all who go to the caves, all who go to the forests are all so selfish people. Only thinking about themselves. और आप बहुत सोच रहे हो सबके बारे में. Wow. Why are we thinking about other people? To fill up our tummies. What did I tell you? Everything in this world is selfish. Anything that we do here has a reason and an expectation. Mark my words. Even in spirituality, there is expectations. I give you something, I will take something from you. If this expectation is not there, that is unconditional love. और वो भगोड़े, मैंने देखा है उनको, वहां पे है सब टाइप के, बट उसले एक वन हिमालयन योगी टोल्ड, कुछ जानने लायक है, कुछ मानने लायक है, लेकिन सभी पूजनीय है, आदरणीय, बिकॉज दे आर टेकन अप द करेज टू गो टुवर्ड्स द लास्ट स्टेजेस ऑफ देयर एवोल्यूशन. एंड ऐसे नहीं कि आई डोंट थिंक हिमालयस में लोग भाग के गए. I didn't see anybody as escapism. I didn't see. People have just run out because it's not fun in the Himalayas, huh? If you run and go. 2 दिन में लौट आओगे. You can't. असहनीय है. For those who run, भगोड़ों के लिए हिमालय नहीं है कभी. टिक भी नहीं पाएंगे. वापस भाग के दुनिया में आएंगे और दुनिया में भागते रहेंगे जैसे दूसरे भगोड़े भाग रहे हैं. You cannot be there. That place, the jungles, the caves, and the Himalayan and the deserts are for those जिसके अंदर सहज रूप से वैराग्य आ गया. Spontaneously they have reached, it's a state of evolution. पहुंच गए वहां पे. अब कोई मतलब नहीं है उनको. They don't have interest. आदि शंकराचार्य 8 साल की उम्र में वैराग्य आ गया, तीव्र वैराग्य. Left his mother, didn't care. कल क्या होगा, वो क्या होगा, मम्मी क्या करेगी मेरी, अकेली है, 2 लोग है, कौन है उनको संभालने वाले. All these questions just disappear when the strings attached dissolve. It is nothing got to do with selfishness. It just happens because the purpose of life is served. Ramana did that, left his mother and went there. Yesterday I explained so many. There was one Mauni Baba, Karananand Baba of Gokul, direct disciple of Bhagwan Nityananda. He's very fond of Bhagwan. But Bhagwan sent him different place because he wanted to do some tapas in some isolated places. Bhagwan sent him to Gokul jao, UP. And he went and did his tapasya there. He was in Mauna 8 years, and after that he returned. And Bhagwan, when he saw him, he sent him again. अब यहाँ जाओ, पढ़नी की तरफ जाओ, वहाँ जाके साधना करो. गोकर्ण की तरफ, South Karnataka. And he wanted to be with this guru, and it's not allowing. But he said, before you have major sadhana to do now, but go there. Before you go to the Padani hill, go to your mom in Kerala. He was a Keralite. Go and meet your mother. Now this person is wondering, I don't have anything to do with my mother because he has had this Vairagya. Many years back he left everything home and all and he came there. Vairagya. Why is Bhagwan sending me there? So he goes there to his home in Kerala, and his mother all these years has been cursing him. My son, good for nothing. He has gone to become a spiritual and Sant Mahatma and all this, like Bhagoda. He's ran, left everything. Cursing. And one day she sees the sun coming in Langot. She's happy and sad. Happy because sun is returned, sad because Langot. She welcomes him and takes care of him, makes good food, talks to the neighbors. My son is come. Then suddenly Pasa palat gaya. Curse has turned into blessing now. My son has become a big person now. He's become saintly now. He is with his guru now. Brought grace to our family. I'm so happy that he has come here. And she cooks food and all that. तो पहले का जो अटैचमेंट मोह था वो वापस लौटा है. मोह ही कारण था दुख का भी. कर्ज का भी कारण मोह ही था. मोहित थी, टोटली अटैच्ड. सन गया, कर्सिंग शुरू हो गया. अब सन आया, मोह फिर से तृप्ति हो गई मोह की. Now happy, blessings. I'm trying to point out the nature of this fickle human mind. कौन सा सत्य है बताओ, कौन सी माँ सत्य है अभी इसमें. हम लोग बड़े डायलॉग मारते हैं ना, माँ का हृदय होता है, माँ माँ का तो माँ ही होता है. आई एम नॉट ऑफेंडिंग एनीथिंग, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट्स रॉन्ग, बट समटाइम व्हेन वी ड्रामाटाइज टू मच, that is because we are not become aware till there. When you have a vast horizon of understanding, vast, when your awareness is not just in one lifetime. What we are learning here is just one lifetime awareness. It starts with one moment awareness, then it spread into 1 hour awareness, then it spread into 1 day awareness, then it spread into a week time awareness, then month time awareness, then year time awareness, then this lifetime awareness. I am talking even much further than that. When you even go further and you see lifetimes of awareness, you will say कौन माता, कौन पिता, कौन सखा, कौन बंधु. Suddenly you will see that this one was my enemy. Who's my father today? My mother was that. My this one was this in this lifetime, that lifetime. What a complication. Which one is real? Now I'm asking this mother, is cursing and blessing. Which of the mother is the matritva bhavali? Which is the one? You'll be confused. You might say that one जो बहुत प्रेम में थी, वो प्रेम प्रेम नहीं था, मोह था. Let me correct you. मोह था वो, attachment. It's not प्रेम. We call it प्रेम. Misinterpreted words. So we don't know the nature of what the mothership there, which has just fluctuated there in this case. And I am telling that is in that case, when you lift up your awareness and you see through multiple janmas, you will say who's who. Which one is true? Is the mother in this lifetime the true one? Or the same in lifetime playing another role as something else? Maybe my neighbor, my maid, or my the employer, or my enemy. Different roles. Which one is real? To come to this level, you need a lot of courage. डगमगा जाता है यहाँ तक बात सुनने में शायद. Many people don't hear this because it's very very scary, painful, because we have lived with certain kind of belief systems. काहे का घंटा मुक्त होंगे इसमें, बताओ. इतनी सी बात अगर हमको समझ नहीं आई, हम बड़े मोक्ष पोक्ष की बात करते हैं. किससे मुक्ति? कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे अगर पकड़े रहोगे एक ही चीज, ये मेरी माँ है, मेरी पिता है, ये मेरी बेटा है, ये मेरी बेटी है, ये मेरी ये है, मेरी वो है, उसी कॉन्सेप्ट के अंदर पकड़ के बैठे जोर से, मोह से लथपथ. एंड उसी मोह के फ्रीक्वेंसी में अगर मोक्ष चाहोगे, कितना विपरीत है. कैसा मिलेगा, क्यों नहीं मिल रहा, अब समझ जाओगे तुम. जल्दी क्यों नहीं आता, समझ जाओगे. कितने गठबंधन है अंदर. So the mother came, mother started serving, talking good to everybody outside. मेरा बेटा है, मेरा बेटा है, मेरा बेटा है. हम बेटा तो मुक्त है, वो कनेक्टेड ही नहीं है. वो अपना गुरु की आज्ञा मान के आया है. अब उसको निकलना है. कुछ दिन के बाद वो बोला, चलो माँ मुझे निकलने का टाइम हो गया, पढ़ने नहीं जा रहा हूँ. कहाँ जा रहे हो? जा रहा हूँ अपने इसमें. अरे क्यों जा रहे हो? जाना है. अरे तू फिर आया क्यों? आपको मिलने आया, गुरु ने बोला आपको मिलो. अरे मिलना था तो फिर जाना क्यों, और जाना था तो मिलना क्यों? कंफ्यूजन. ही सेड नहीं माँ मुझे तो जाना है, मेरा लक्ष्य वही है, मेरा काम वही है. अब आ गया मैं 2 दिन. आई सर्व्ड यू इन वट एवर वे आई कैन. आई हैव टू गो. So the moment he began leaving the place, mother turned very furious. You good for nothing guy. You are leaving me and going in this old age, blah blah blah. Is this what your guru is teaching you? Is this what your spirituality is teaching you? Is this what you do and that what you do? Blah blah blah. He doesn't turn back, he walks and goes. Guru's instruction. Guru did not say go to your mother. He said go to your mother and proceed. Before going there, meet her and go. Why the Guru said, God knows. Bhagwan Nityananda. Maybe something he saw. सम ऋण बंधन सब कुछ और गालियां खानी थी या कुछ और प्रेम से कुछ लेना था जो भी था फाइनल के थिंग्स फाइनल दैट वाज नीडेड एंड ही डिड इट हो गया जैसे ऋण मुक्ति होगी गुरु की आज्ञा के हिसाब से he did and he continued with his work after that he never came back he never went back there by the time he had after many years when he came back to Ganeshpuri Bhagwan had left his body and deep despair there's a long story then he goes back to Gokul and Gokul he took samadhi so I had been to his samadhi that was also a miracle going to samadhi I was in Mathura and Vrindavan and suddenly I remembered hey Gokul mein Karnanand Swami samadhi is there I have to go there and I called Swami Vijayananda where is that he's not picking the phone and I'm saying oh my god I've just got 2 days I have to go there I have to go there in Mathura I finished one day and one day I was in Vrindavan and day is coming almost to an end like afternoon hai and I'm thinking now where will I go in Gokul I don't know his address tried everything googled it maps me searched everywhere Karananand Swami Karananand Swami Karananand Swami finally I gave up the hope so I was coming out of Mathura temple I was just walking out an auto guy came and stood in front of me said घूमने जाना है तो चलो लेके चलते हैं वो चलते हैं ऐसे I said no 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 इतना ही लगेगा साहब इतना ही लगेगा only little amount come join me I'll take you I'll show this is then I thought okay let's see कहाँ जाओगे then he said blah 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 this place he also said Gokul so for a moment I was happy then I thought जाके भी क्या करूँगा गोकुल तो इतना बड़ा है where will I search for that and the map also is not showing anywhere I asked him he said no I have no idea I don't stay there but I can take you and I'll show you I said okay चलो टाइम पास तो हो जाएगा मेरा भी उतना हो जाएगा इनका भी हो जाएगा show me but I told him one condition don't show me the places around or what who did what like Krishna did this here Krishna did, I don't want to know anything you just tell me the significance of the place what is that place name and just leave me there everywhere wherever you stop 15 minutes you have to give me alone I will meditate and come तो बोला विचित्र आदमी है सब लोग तो देखने आते हैं तो बोला यहाँ से देख के नहीं जाओगे तो यहाँ से कुछ नहीं लेके जाओगे he told me this word I said ठीक है प्रभु मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए यहाँ से मुझे जो लेना है ना मैं ले लूंगा आप चलो तो यमुना के तट पे आई सेड फर्स्ट वहां पे रुका ना तट पे थोड़ा बैठूंगा और उसके बाद देन ही took me to the banks of the river and he's watching this crazy what is this up to all my visitors are a different type you can mint money इनको ये दिखाओ कुछ रास लीला के बारे में बचाओ बताओ कुछ तो talk something about the stories and you get something and this guy is not interested so I did that and then he took me to बोला next कहाँ we were already in Gokul and he was moving around and then he said बलराम के टेम्पल में जाएंगे childhood friends and Balaram was born there I said okay चलो इतना बोला काफी है मेरे लिए अभी आगे का नहीं सुनना है then he took me to the temple he dropped me there I went into the temple I was sitting and then I saw a photograph of Bhagwan Nityananda I was like Bhagwan Nityananda I went and sat there I talked to the priest and the priest said yes you know him that's good you go to Ganeshpuri even I go to Ganeshpuri yes yes, great and then next to Bhagwan Nityananda I saw a photo of Karananand Swami I was amazed and I said, Karanand Baba. He said, oh, you know him? I said, yeah, I was searching for him. I told him all the story. I'm searching, I didn't get it. Then he said, अरे भैया इधर ही मंदिर के पीछे ही उनका समाधि है. He used to sit in this temple here. That's why his photo is all kept here and you can go here only. And I said, why am I not finding it Google? उसने बोला आपने क्या बोल के ढूंढा? मैं बोला करुणानंद स्वामी. वो बोला वो कौन सा नाम है? I said वही है. नहीं ये तो मौनी बाबा है. Oh, I said. वो बोले यहाँ मौनी बाबा बोल के आप कहीं भी पूछो बता देंगे because he had kept Maun there so everybody knew him as Mauni Baba not Karnan Baba. That is the reason I was not getting it. Then I typed in this Mauni yeah, it was there and I took the auto guy I went there and it's a big story beautiful experience and all that so magically I consider that Karnan Baba only called there because otherwise it's not possible this miracle happened anyways so I was telling Bhagwan Nityananda sent Karananand Swami to the mother and then to Palani so The guru, do you think it's if this is so weird, ये अच्छा नहीं है, ये भगोड़ापन है, then do you think भगवान नित्यानंद ने भगोड़ापन को ये किया, प्रोत्साहित किया? भगवान नित्यानंद, and who is भगवान नित्यानंद? जिस डेफिनेशन से हम भगोड़े बोलते हैं, then he also has become a भगोड़ा in your definition, because he had no parents, and he was adopted by Ishwar Iyer ji and all that, and he was brought up and all that, but he had no attachment to anybody. When he went to Kashi with his father, he just said, I'm not coming back home. And his father was crying and weeping and falling at his feet and saying, no, because attached. My dear Ram was his name, Nityananda's. Come back. He said, no, I'll come when I have to come, you go. Where is Moh Maya? Isn't that also Bhagavatam then? We have to understand these concepts. This is beyond a certain level. There is no Bhagavatam. It happens. जीवन मुक्त किसको बोलते हैं? सब भी आडंबरों से मुक्त है वो। ऐसा नहीं कि सब वासनाओं से मुक्त, इससे मुक्त, उससे मुक्त और मोह से लथपथ है वो लोग, वो जीवन मुक्त नहीं हो सकते। जीवन मुक्त कंप्लीटली मुक्त। एक अवधूत के कौन माता पिता है? जाके पूछो कोई अवधूत को, जवाब मिलेगा आपको अच्छे से। आप कहाँ से हो, आपके माता पिता कौन है? कोई भी अवधूत का आज तक ठिकाना नहीं है। ऐसा नहीं कि वो लोग आसमान से गिरे हैं, जरूर कोई कोख से आए हैं, जरूर कोई माता पिता से आए हैं, बट मैं क्या कहने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, it just becomes a divine instrument. There is no question of attachment. So it is wrong to call anybody who is going into the wilderness as Bhagoda. I am not supporting them, nor at the same time not degrading them also. Not at all. I'm just telling in neutrality what I see. Because I'm not going to the Himalayas. I'm here only. But that doesn't mean I tell they are all that way. Because I'm so proud to be in the world. कुछ बड़ा तीर नहीं मारा है दुनिया में रह के, ज्यादा फंसे हैं यहाँ पे। आंख खोल के देख लो, फंसे हैं, बुरी तरह से फंसे हैं, निकलना मुश्किल है। ये बोलो ना निकलने को नहीं हो रहा, मोह माया से लथपथ है सब, निकल नहीं पा रहे हैं, तो एक आडंबर, एक एक्सक्यूज देके उनको भगोड़ा बनाया। अपने आप को बहुत, हम लोगों ने बहुत सर्वश्रेष्ठ दिया है पदवी। भगोड़े हम हैं, सच्चाई से भागते आए हैं। कब तक भागेंगे? एक ना एक दिन आएगा ये सामने। भगोड़े हम हैं क्योंकि गृहस्थ आश्रम में आके भी संन्यास को मान नहीं पा रहे, जो एक अंग है इसका। इट इज गोइंग टू एंड, गृहस्थ आश्रम एंड्स इन संन्यास आश्रम। संन्यास मतलब doesn't mean you have to go to Himalayas only. You can be in the world only. Jivan Mukta, completely withdrawn, completely in your own. Sannyas means you are completely in yourself, immersed in yourself. Vanaprastha means you are immersed in yourself at the same time in the world. दोनों भी चलता है वहां पे। लेकिन उसके बाद की संन्यास means complete in yourself absorption for the final stages of life. Now, would you call that selfishness? तो वो भी आपके गृहस्थ आश्रम में ही तो है पार्ट। All these things have to be looked very very practically. थोड़ा यहाँ से हम लेते, थोड़ा वहां से लेते, और अपने सुटेबिलिटी के हिसाब से अपने को बहुत सुविधा पहुंचाने के लिए we talk something, we do something, and we tell the whole world in that way. We teach our children, we teach the society all this nonsense. प्रैक्टिकलिटी नहीं है। Desirelessness is needed. Vairagya is needed, not non-attachment is needed. If not now, at least closing to the Vanaprastha ashram. If not then, surely 100% in sannyas, both this is needed. Without this, you cannot enter into sannyas ashram. means you are not going to complete your grahasthashram. मैंने कह रहा है, I'm not inventing something. This is all in your shastras only. Your what the great scriptures and the great rishis have given. This parampara is from them. I'm talking that parampara only. Correct me if I'm wrong. Why are we so scared of vairagya? Why are we so fond of desires? That desirelessness सुनना नहीं चाहते. Yeah, I was telling about this book. I was reading it and suddenly I remembered, oh my god, this is just the same. And it's just the last part of the paragraph. I'll read only this much because I don't want to read this book today. I'll just finish this first chapter. So the final thing yesterday that he was telling was the professional side of business cannot be applied to religion and spirituality. Religious and spiritual propaganda or preaching is not and never can be salesmanship. You are not out to sell religion or spirituality as a commodity. There is no exchange, no expectation or gratification in religion and spirituality. To be more explicit, he alone can become a preacher who has realized his self and has entered into the kingdom of peace, happiness, and has realized God and entered into his domain. You have known by now that books and scriptures do not lead you to anything or anywhere. They might serve as a reference point to the pilgrims on the way or to those treading the path. By themselves, they mean nothing. So, this is how it all happened and it ended. The blah blah blah, it goes on, and the organization and propaganda are the concepts of the mind, and in religion and spirituality, you have to rise beyond the mind and its concepts. This is where we ended yesterday. Read it. Now, continuing, the Stormy stopped speaking. This is all happening in the train. It was past 11. None of us felt like sleeping. All listened to him with rapt attention. Various feelings were visible on the faces of the listeners. Swami himself was calm and collected. It was Mr. David who broke the silence. He rose from his seat and offered congratulations to Swami. He said, I offer you my sincere congratulations. Never have I heard so clear and convincing an exposition of religion and spirituality. Once again, it was marvelous and it set me thinking about what I have been doing and have been believing so far. I would consider it a privilege to hear from you once again. Whoever you may be and whatever may be your status, I feel that you have understood things that we never ever thought in our life so far. They are expressing the shock and surprise with which the conviction the Swamiji exposed and talked about reality of religion and spirituality. Father Andrews was next to shake hands with the Swami. He said, you are really wonderful and I bow down to you in respect. I have no idea of false prestige. You have placed before us the truth in a clear and convincing manner. I have to think it all over in relation to life that I am leading. Let me assure you that I will not hesitate even for a minute to discard everything and start a new life when I am fully convinced. The rest of us congratulated Swamiji in suitable words. The Swami said, I have, as a matter of fact, to thank you for your patient hearing. It is already late and I think we should now retire. Lights were switched off and we retired for the night. The sun had risen when I opened my eyes. This is the next morning. I was the last person to get up. The Swamiji had taken his bath and looked quite fresh. He had put on his usual clothes and looked radiant and smiling. Miss Rose had completed her toilet and was reading a book. Shantilal, ready in his usual dress, was waiting for tea. Father Andrews was already all ready and sitting with a rosary in his hand. Tea was served to all of us in the compartment except Swami. We all pressed him to take the milk if he did not like tea, but he gracefully declined our offer, saying that he was not in the habit of having anything so early in the morning. He said that being a wanderer and a sort of nomad, he had neither the means nor leisure to form habits. My eyes turned towards his dress and the luggage he was carrying. He understood and with a charming smile said, "You are probably thinking of my possessions and maybe wondering how can I afford to travel first class with well-off people like you. Let me clear your doubts." Saying so, he opened the bag and exhibited the contents. There was one robe, one loincloth, a couple of underwears, a pair of sandals, a cotton cloth bag, a rosary, and a lump of white ash called bhasma. He said that these were his only earthly possessions, and he could easily carry them in a cloth bag. He further added that he would not regret a loss of any of these items or even all of these items. His bedding and the bag, he said, were given to him by the host at Agra with an explicit understanding that he would be leaving them in Bombay with the host there. So somebody had given him the bedding, and Swamiji had told, I'll use the bedding in the train. Those days we didn't have bedding. I'll use it in the train, but when I reach Bombay, I'll give it to the next person and leave it there. He said that he was used to walk for days together with or without food. He has stayed with the rich people, but he felt more happy while walking through the woods and wastelands than living in the cities. He has passed happier nights in the forests and on river banks than anywhere else. He therefore could form no habits and was at ease in any type of conditions and circumstances. The Swami was revealing himself to us bit by bit. Miss Rose asked the Swami, "Excuse me, sir, but is it not dangerous to spend nights and days in jungles and forests without arms to protect you from the wild animals? Are you not afraid?" Wow, we just discussed this today. The Swami laughed and said, "My child, the fear is always out of greed or attachment. You have fear as long as you have something of worth to lose. I have nothing to lose and I have no attachments, and hence I have no fear. I have no attachment even of my body, and I do not value it more than the clothes that I wear. I am therefore unconcerned of my personal safety. That is why I am carefree. You can see that so far I have not come to harm, excepting a few unimportant incidents which I have almost forgotten because of their insignificance." He says, "I have not come to any harm." Matlab, he has been protected, he has not been harmed. You can see that I have not had any problem till now, except some few incidents, but which he calls unimportant and which I've almost forgotten, he says, because it's insignificant. Mr. Shantilal, who was very much impressed by what the Swami said, requested him with feelings in his voice to stay with him in Bombay. He said, "Swami, by the grace of God and the blessings of saints like you, I am well off. If you stay with us as long as you like, it would be a great pleasure to us." The Swami said, "I have to thank you for your kind offer. A number of wealthy people in Bombay know me and would welcome my stay with them. But as I have told you, I am a sort of untamed animal. The life of ease and comfort does not suit me. Every house has a code of discipline and manners." This is what I was saying exactly. "I observe no codes. I have no debts to discharge and no obligation to respect. My freedom is absolute and it suits me admirably. Of course, I stay with some people who are used to my way of living, and there is a complete understanding between us. There are no obligation on either sides." Yesterday, I had a smile on my face when I went through this. I didn't read anything today, but the chapter ends here. So I had a smile on my face because this is exactly what I feel when I stay or live in somebody's house. I only stay where I feel very, very comfortable, where nobody is going to thopify any rules on me and expect me to behave in a certain way or pester me to do it this way, that way. I feel very happy to be left on my own. So that's one reason. And another reason I don't nowadays enter homes is because everybody feels threatened. They say this guy is gone for gone case, and now my child is also going to be a gone case if he is there with them. So I can, they don't tell me on the face, but I can read it very well. It's in the air. The energy is in the air. You can feel it literally. So whenever that energy floats off, I immediately pack my bag and leave off. I don't stay there then. So these are the catches where if you move with this awareness of truth, because you emanate truth, there is nothing to hide, there is no hide and seek. What is there inside, you speak. So when you sit even for conversations, if you go by the obligation of people, then you have to sit, and even some nonsense is going on, you'll have to just compromise with them. But since we are in this habit of telling what, blurting out whatever, it might not be very comfortable. I've noticed this even on dining tables when we are sitting. The family is there, and something which is not in alignment is spoken, and I tell them directly on face. Then all that I can hear for a next few minutes is cutlery sound. The voices go silent. Only cutlery sound. Katak kuduk, katak kuduk. So I come to know that, oh, तीर कहीं तो जाके लगा है. So instead of having all this kind of panga, it is better not to be in those places. Just the same example why it's not comfortable to be in the world, because world also there are so many, and exactly in the past 3 days I've been talking this only. Obligations, rules and codes and disciplines and this and that and so many things. Everywhere you go, you have to conform to something or the other. You have to compromise something or the other. You cannot be yourself. My experience is wherever I have not been able to be myself, or somebody has not accepted me totally 100% the way I am, I move out from there. Whoever it is, wherever it is. Because then if the tattva is that, accepting everybody 100% the way they are, then it should come down to our actions also. There should be no problem the way somebody is. And the biggest shock is in spirituality itself, when you can't accept the person the way they are for their authenticity, what is left? If somebody is a crook and somebody is speaking lies or doing some wrong things and you don't accept, still understood. But the philosophy goes, you have to accept even that person. Like Jesus said, Lord, forgive them for they do not know what they're doing, and they're pressing him, they're killing him. That time he's praying to the Lord. That is unconditional love. That is acceptance. Christ on the cross accepted. These people will not understand. They are ignorant. They do not know what they are doing. So please, God bless them. Forgive them. Can anybody do that? That is why we must not preach about unconditional love. Simply डायलॉग नहीं हो, ऐसा है उसका तत्व. तो वो तो दूर की बात, those who offend us we are not able to forget that. Those who are crooks or ignorant or all that, those who are speaking the truth also you can't accept them 100%. What kind of spirituality is this? खटकती है. That is why I said it's been too much now. The spiritual world is, according to my understanding, it's not what it is or what it was before. Things are changing, and with the changes, the Maya has influenced spirituality also. The catch is there. That is why spirituality does not want to go into desirelessness. Spirituality still does not want to teach vairagya. It will teach you to be stuck in it and do all those things that again deep roots in it. In my Guru Purnima, I had done a reading from Kanjangad on the Tattva of Bhagwan. I don't know how many of us caught it. It's all about the same. See, if you don't believe me, these books cannot be talking lies, right? But how famous are these books? Even if they're famous, एक गिने चुने एक चार पांच हर बार का एक preaching है, very very common, which is that we all know, we have by hearted it. But this has 286 verses. How much has reached our ears? Not even 6. 280 is still remaining. I'll just read a couple of this so that we have a proper understanding that I am not mincing words here. I'm talking from the words of great mystics. Verse number 89, if you see, he says there are various kind of desirelessness. When a man sees a dead body being burned, he realizes the futility of human body which will one day be reduced to ashes. This is temporary desirelessness. Yesterday we spoke this. See, this Bhagavan is referring actually to Avadut Gita, in which he says Smashan Vairagya. When we see a dead body, then we say that, oh my god, a desirelessness comes, Vairagya comes. What is the use of this world? I have no interest in it and all that, blah blah. 4 दिन की चांदनी, फिर अंधेरा. So after that, 4 5 days or a week again, the person gets immersed back. So Bhagavan says this is temporary desirelessness. The desirelessness which one experiences after long practice is the goal of life. What is he saying? Bhagavan is saying the goal of life, the aim of life, he's saying, is desirelessness. Does it need more underlining? This desirelessness comes first in our search for Atma. In the realization of self, desirelessness is of foremost importance. What does Bhagavan say? In the pursuit of self realization, the most foremost thing that is needed is desirelessness. Next comes the Guru. See, what he's saying, even before the Guru, what is placed is this goal of desirelessness. He says, next important desire, most important desire. First is to attain desirelessness. The desire to attain desirelessness. The next importance is the desire to be initiated by a guru. Means seeking a guru, that's also a desire. He says that is the next important. But before even that is the aim to get no desires, desirelessness. From desirelessness, a man obtains liberation from bondage. By cutting the roots of passion and anger, we can attain eternal desirelessness. So, Bhagavan is pointing that passion and anger is the root cause of desire. He says, by cutting that, we can attain eternal desirelessness. Matlab, eternal means complete, it's not temporary, permanent. So, when people say it is impossible to not have desires, here is Bhagavan saying it is possible, that to eternal desirelessness. Being in samsara and enjoying a little of its pleasures and renouncing it is the second grade of desirelessness. See, the second grade of he's saying, being in the samsara, being in the world, enjoying little of its pleasures. Okay, enjoying it, bhog, little here and there, and then renouncing it is the second grade. So he's saying samyak again. He's not saying immediately drop everything. He's saying have, be in the world, but transcend it. Verse number 37. I'm reading the verse out so that there is more clarity if you want to refer to it. Verse number 37, it says, without realizing God, who is the eternal truth, bondage of karma will not leave us. One cannot be a sannyasi if external signs, one cannot be a sannyasi by external signs if he is internally a hypocrite. Do what you say and say what you do. Such a man is a jnani, he is a paramahamsa, he is a yogi, he is a sannyasi. One who has conquered desire is a true sannyasi. Only a desireless man is fit to be a spiritual teacher. So he says, to be a true sannyasi, one has to conquer desire. It means A true sannyasi is one who is completely desireless. Only such a desireless man is meant or fit to be a spiritual teacher. See the heights of requirements. What and which book is this talking about? Chidakasha Gita, the Mahaguru from our parampara. Number 51, verse number 51. The sense of equality, seeing God in all, is the greatest thing in this world. People go mad after shadows, but rarely do they go mad after the subtle, which is the reality. The world is like a shadow being transient. Men are mad after worldly things and not after the divine. Glamour spirituality. Only one in a million has real madness after God. All others are mad after the gross world. Such people run mad after 16 things in a Gatika. Means, Gatika means in those days 24 minutes was called one Gatika. Today we have got hour. That time it was 24 minute equal to one Gatika. So he's telling such people run mad after 16 things in one Gatika. Means every 24 minutes also they have 16 things in mind. Desires. Their mind or manas is fickle like that of a monkey. I want this, I want that, this is different, that is different. Such is their mad talk. They cannot realize the unity in diversity. He's talking about Advait now, in the Dvaita. What is madness is entertaining various motives, hankering after greatness is worldly madness. But the real madness is practicing and seeing the reality for oneself completely by becoming aware of this. Those who have not realized the eternal truth are mad after the gross world. Mukti, which is liberation from bondage, is divine madness. He says Mukti is divine madness. Everyone has some sort of madness or the other. We do not carry with us to the next world our houses, diamond, jewels, gold, property. Means after leaving the body, we don't carry this, he says. We did not bring these with us at the time of birth, nor do we take these at the time of death. What we carry with us, what we carry with us when we leave this gross world is the soul in us, which is eternal. This Atma must be realized in this very life, and the bliss of moksha must be attained. Bhagavan Nityananda's words. Not familiar, right? These are all the hidden teachings. Next verse is 254. Once the well is emptied of its water, all the mud will be removed. The water which then comes is then the purest. What he says is when those days when the well is dirty, so they clean the well completely. So the water is completely taken out of the well. So when they take the water, even the mud is removed. Obviously, it's all the slippery mud. It's removed. After that, he says the water that then comes out is the purest. So he's comparing this to something. He says, man at the beginning is not pure. By constant sadhana, he must burn away the impurities in him. By constant rigorous practices that he does, the impurities. What did I say? The Himalayan yogi says, only chitta shuddhi tak आपको ये सारे साधन ले जाता है. Means the cleansing of the shuddhi. This is what he's saying. It must be by constant sadhana, he must burn away the impurities in him. His mind or manas must be purified of its vasanas. Once and for all, the feeling of I and mine should be burnt. Me and mine. When this is done, Non attachment to the object of the senses will result on its own accord, and the highest truth will be experienced. The simple sutras is telling how to get non attached. One is he saying, do your practices and purify it. But once you reach the purification things and all, the final thing that will remain still is the feeling of I and mine. That also should be one. When this is done, he says, Vairagya will start coming on its own and the highest truth will be attained. Next is 268. For Vairagya to be steady and permanent, sadhana is necessary. It is the practice that we can maintain in us continuous uninterrupted Vairagya. So he says these practices to bring in this chitta shuddhi of all its vasanas, of to be emptied, to be eradicated by consistent practice, whichever practice you are following, then this vairagya can be steady and it can lead to even permanent states. What is vairagya? Vairagya is not of the body. When the mind is unwavering in all the external and internal causes and effects, then one sees the Atman. He's telling it's not only with the bodily vairagya, it's the mind, everything is the attachment, everything is in the mind. One can realize the Atma only by introversion, going within. One should lessen one's attention on the worldly things and increase that on the things invisible. That's what I was saying. The first gross step is, you pull back from where you've invested the expectation in the world and that, and then supply that to yourself. You become self dash centered, capital S. One should lessen one's attention on the worldly things and increase that on the things invisible. He's talking of the sukshma, subtle. For Atma to be realized, one must forget both jnana and vijnana. This is what I said in the end. What the Himalayan yogi told me was, in the end, finally, even the gyan will be dropped. Shastra vasana, he calls it. All the scriptures and all the. This is also gyan. This also will drop. Even this. This is just for the students who are learning and proceeding. After you ripen in it, it drops. So he says, for the Atma to be realized in the final stages, one must forget the Jnana and the Vijnana, even the science. Only when one knows, but he is not aware that he knows, can one see Atman. Only when one knows, but he is not aware that he knows, can one realize the Atman. Men of the highest realization are like blind men, although they have eyes, like deaf men, although they have ears. Their sole attention is fixed on the one, the everlasting. So he says the people who are of the highest realization, who are reaching that end, are like the blind men, though they have eyes, and also like the deaf men, though they have ears, their sole attention is not on that one. You see, if somebody doesn't have an eye and somebody doesn't have an ear, their whole attention is centered in their intuition automatically. Their other senses becomes very powerful. So he's telling the highest realization men are like that. They are always fixed on the one, means on God. Such sadhus are unaware of what they do. What we are talking about, avdutas and all that. When their senses are acting, they are unattached to their senses. See, when the senses are acting, he says, means the senses are continuing doing what they want to do, but the person is unattached to it, the sense. Their action is inaction to them. See, their action is inaction to them means non doership. In them, the idea of creation is less and the idea of nothingness is more. Idea of creation is less means creating desires, that is less, and the idea of nothingness is more means giving up, tyaga. Power of forgetfulness is great in them. No memory. They are only in their present moment. They are not connected with any other memories. Their attention is fixed not on the coconut shell but on the kernel. Okay, this is long again. I don't see where desirelessness. It says their attention is on the invisible, not on the visible, on God and not on the world, on the eternal supreme pleasure and not on the transient worldly pleasure. Such men are beyond the sin and merit. This is what we are saying. Papa punya ki beyond. Such people are beyond that. They are quite unaware of the existence of the body, no body consciousness, and hence the worldly laws do not apply on them. We are talking here about avdutas, okay? He is referring to avdutas here. They are like the boat in the water. Though they are in the world enjoying all the legitimate pleasure, they are not attached to anything. Just as water and boat are quite distant, they feel the Atma and body to be quite separate. So that is why he said here their attention is fixed on the coconut shell. It's not on the coconut shell but on the kernel. Kernel means the inside coconut part. So they are not focusing on the outer. Outer coconut shell means the body. See how he has given the reference. And the inner coconut, the white coconut which is there, he is calling that as the soul. So he's telling their attention is not on the coconut outside kernel, but outside shell, but inside the kernel, that is the coconut. Means they're always on the soul, which we are talking about awareness, self-awareness. When you abide in your awareness, you are constantly aware of your soul. You are not aware of your body. And in earlier verses, I remember he had told you should become like the dry coconut. Dry coconut means in the start when the coconut is not ripe, they are together. The cover and the coconut is all stuck. You cannot separate them. But when the coconut ripens and becomes dry, the inside copra, the kernel, separates. And you can, if you shake it, you can kada hear that noise. The dry coconut from which they make the coconut oil, it automatically shrinks and separates from the coconut shell. He has explained in Chidakasha earlier, I remember. That is how the Atman separates from the body in awareness. When I realize that I am not the body, I am the soul, so there is a disconnection between the soul and the body. So when you are in that Atmic awareness, you know that you are this, but you are not the body. That's the whole explanation that he says here. They enjoy the supreme bliss of God, discarding all the transient pleasures of the world. They drink only the juice of the sugar cane, which is divine bliss, and discard the outer skin, that is the worldly pleasure. When man has attained perfection in spirituality, he cannot descend again back to the world. So that's a good assurance. Like the sugar, when once manufactured, cannot be transformed again into sugar cane. So he says, once you reach that state of perfection in spirituality, then you cannot come down. Like the sugar cannot be converted back to sugar cane. Once a man realizes that he is Atman, the idea that he is the body never returns. Like an old vessel after which necessary repair shines with the luster of the new, buddhi, when the vasanas are annihilated, is transformed into pure sattva quality. So the intellect becomes pure sattva guna, sattva quality. Like the old vessel gives a new shine when it is, polished. Buddhi is deprived of its new true nature because buddhi is immersed in vasanas. When the grass is removed, buddhi attains its true pristine quality. Then one will have perfect contentment. There was only few in that about Vairagya, but I still chose to read it. Somewhere just opened, I had underlined this. Those whose attention is fixed on the body and on its decoration, not knowing the secret of God, follow a downward path which does not bring salvation to them in this life. Isliye all the alankars I just one year back I took it off. I had rudrakshas and yantras and tantras and all that. Too many. Because then I was reading these things also. Those whose attention is fixed on the body and its decoration. These are also spiritual decorations. Not knowing the secret of God, actually they follow the downward path, which is not bringing salvation to them in this life. So next is 105. Do not be immersed in materialistic life. The materialistic life can offer happiness, which is only temporary. At some point, leave the worldly life and enter into the path of godliness. When you are at your deathbed, you may suffer the agonies of hell. Your prana is obstructed by the flowing out of the three humors, that is vata, pitta, kapha. Practice yoga, which makes the body to be free of these humors. Okay. Is saying practice yoga so that you are free of these three humors, that is vat, pit, kapha, which we know if it is in imbalance causes all kind of disease. And he says the prana can get obstruct by these three vat, pitta, kapha. Anyways, I was not focusing on that here now. All this message was do not be immersed in materialistic life. So these were all the sections that I had marked that time during Guru Purnima about detachment and desirelessness. So I'm just reading from them only. Another 2 or 3 are left. I'll finish that and then finish. So all the yantras have gone. Previously I used to wear it. So there is nothing to display, especially a gold and silver to display and show show off. 202. Beggar is he who has not realized the eternal truth. One who has not destroyed the worldly thoughts is a beggar. There are two paths. One can look downwards towards all the worldly aspects of life and be involved in it, and the other is to look upwards and merge with God. One who looks downward is a beggar. So he's referring that to a beggar, that quality of materialistic lust and the samsaric pleasures. He's looking at them as beggar. Next is 98. Okay, 98. 87. Man is the crown and culmination of God's creation. There is no incarnation higher than that of man. Man is the greatest of animals. Among men, those are the best who ponder over the subtle. Those who realize the self are the greatest men. So he says, two people again in this. Man first he says, Bade Bhag Manifitan Pava. Man is the most superior among all the creatures in this world. Among the superior beings, the whole humankind, he says the best are those who ponder over the subtle, those who are constantly being aware of the subtle than the gross, who was contemplating constant. He says those are the best of men. And yet, among them, even the best is the greatest of men are those who actually realize the self. So he is categorized. First, he says creatures everywhere, it is the best all the life creatures, man is the best, he says. Out of that man, the very best is the one who is contemplating on the soul, and out of that the greatest of men is one who actually realizes the soul. Beautiful. 222. 222. Those who are desireless have no fear. Desire is the cause of fear. Desireless men are always happy. Such men always enjoy the supreme bliss of God. Man does not achieve greatness by possessing material prosperity. A man is great by the power of discrimination. What is the power of discrimination? Viveka. Understanding what is right and wrong, what to pick, what not to pick. The decision making faculty. And Viveka comes from a sharp buddhi or intellect. Possession of wealth, land, hillocks, big mansions, diamonds, necklaces, diamond earrings, finger rings, these do not ever make a man great. Even a pariah, if he has the power of discrimination, he is great. Who's a pariah? Outcast, untouchable. अछूत अछूत होता है ना, who cannot be touched, वो उस जमाने में बहुत होता था, पराया है, पराये लोग, उनको पराया बोलते थे, आउटकास्ट. सो ही सेइंग इवन द रिचेस्ट ऑफ मेन से वो पराया अच्छा जिसको ये डिस्क्रिमिनेशन है, सही बुरे का. सही बुरे का मतलब सोल और ग्रॉसनेस का, सूक्ष्म और स्थूल का, जिसको परख है, saying that is much more better. A, a Brahmin is he who has the power of discrimination. Those days they were saying that Brahmins are caste. You are born in a Brahmin family, you become a Brahmin. He was against it, Nityananda. He would say a Brahmin is actually the one who has this proper viveka, this understanding of सूक्ष्म and gross, जो समझ सकता है कि ये स्थूल है, इसमें कुछ नहीं है, ये सूक्ष्म है, इसमें सब कुछ है. Possession of a heap of gold does not make a man great. Greatness must be primarily of the soul and not of the body. A man who has realized the Atma is the greatest of men. And finally, 39 is the last one. God's gift is of man. God's gift to man is equally distributed. God is impartial in giving to the people. The power of thought, the ears, nose, hands, eye, etc., are the same to all alike. It depends upon how the person utilizes it. A very simple one is this: everybody has this capacity, everybody has been given viveka, the buddhi, intellect. Nobody has been given something extra or less. It is all upon how the person utilizes. Nobody has got extra hands, extra eyes, extra ears, he's saying here. Impartiality has been given to everybody, but how you make use of it is all upon you. Okay, there is some question from somebody. A query, Jacobji: should we look at these as body decoration or should still be able to use considering the benefits? See, that's what I'm telling you. It's a discrimination. I don't want to give general advice. I'm just talking about my life. I can talk about my life. I can talk about my views, but I cannot be telling what you should be doing. That's completely upon you. What did Bhagwan say here? Last para. He said everybody has been given equality. Everybody has been given, even the buddhi. So they have to finally understand and find out the parak. So if I tell something, it can be a controversy now if I start. Like people might sit here and argue and tell that, oh, but even the guru is wearing it. I can tell, but why are you telling that? Guru is wearing it, that's fine, but he doesn't need it. I know it. I know it. Because they are beings who have transcended it, but when they are teaching you something, they demonstrate it in that way because they're teaching it to. And whom are they teaching? Those who need it. So, need it means timely, who need it, fine. But a time comes when everything will drop. It will drop by itself. Like it has dropped. Like, for example, the Guru has taught 10, 15 different practices. So much of practices. So much of practices are there. Now he taught to the world so that they can, whoever is has that kind of affinity, they pick that and do. He did not ever say that do all these things, and neither he is do himself does all these things. Do you think early morning he gets up and then he keeps a yantra in front and puts kumkum and rice on that? Not needed. They are beyond that. But this might be needed for somebody who's too much grossly. It's needed. It's a part of sadhana. So who needs it uses it. Who doesn't need it is done with it. As simple as that. So if you are using, now coming to your point again, if you are using a yantra and you say you considering the benefits, why not? Because these are not useless things. They all help us. The mantra, the tantra, yantra, they are all tools. So if it is helping you, use it. But for that benefit, you use it. What I am asking it, why demonstrate it? Ornaments are always demonstrated. Now, if you have a gold necklace and you put it inside, suppose I have a gold chain and I'm closing this way. What use is the gold chain to you? To me, what? Now, gold chain is for what? So that I boast about my wealth and my power. So I show my superiority to the world that I am better than you, something like that. I'm a little separate than you. So I put a big gold chain. So if I have to show this gold chain, I open it up and keep so that it's shown, isn't it? Why will I put a gold chain otherwise if I have to close it like this? So the purpose of that gold chain is to demonstrate. Gold is to demonstrate. Now, if you have a yantra and it is of gold, and if you're wearing and covering it like this, what is the purpose of that yantra? Is it demonstration or is it for the benefit? The benefit. Definitely benefit. So you keep it inside also, it will benefit you. Yantra is yantra. It has to be on your heart chakra. My guru always said that. Because when we were working in the ashram also, you check. Because sometimes negativities and all those things were there in us also. In me also it was there. So I used to check. You have a yantra in place. And he used to check it. He used to say it should be on your this level. Now if I wear it here, Vishuddhi chakra, it is not serving its purpose. It is demonstrating something maybe. So it all depends on what is your intent and what are you using it for. So you asked a question, if it is for the benefits, yes, it's benefit, but it's all hidden stuff. You can wear yantras inside also, but when you publicly demonstrate, if you put a golden thing, bracelet, and whatever that symbolism might be, and then you have deviated. Now, this I'm not telling to the world because I know the world will not come and see these videos. These videos are only for those who are looking towards freedom. It will free you from adambars. Not from these tools, but from the purpose of those tools. The wrong utilization, those things it will serve you. It will help you in that way. So if I have a Rudraksh in this hand, look at here. Now it's serving its purpose, whatever the purpose might be, it's serving its purpose. Now it may not really. You see the difference? That's all I had to say about this. Anyway, the whole subject is again, and what I'm talking very sharply in all these 3 days, last 3 days, is very, very sharply and very deeply, straight to the point of what spirituality is conveying. And I'm fortunately or unfortunately, you can call it, I'm having to refer to all these books to tell you that I'm not talking from my mind. Okay, this is the path that I follow. These are the path of the mystics. These are people who have walked on the path, and they are sharing. So I learn from them, and what I learn from them and what I benefit from, I'd love to share it with the world. This is not to put anybody down or to prove anything to anybody, but if somebody is getting stuck due to ignorances, then I'm putting out these videos for them. And anyways, it is not for reformation or trying to bring a revolution or change something. Then otherwise I would have hit the boost post and made paid promotions and posted it in here and there in all the groups and all that, and tried to make a revolution, pulled in more people into this and convinced people, and walked in a different kind of a attitude towards that. That is not the intentions anywhere here. And also I would have said at the end of every video, please do like this, please, like what they say, like button दबाएगा और share कीजिएगा. Please like, subscribe and share. Have you ever heard even one video in all these years? That's not the intent and purpose, to build up your subscription. And anyways, I think 1,000 plus वहाँ पे क्रॉस हो गया चैनल में. I'm very happy this YouTube cross, because that was my only concern कि 1,000 subscriber cross हो जाए बस. Then I don't know, it's okay, because 1,000 it was asking for live. If 1,000 subscribers had not reached, I had to use a software, OBS software. It was not directly doing live. It said minimum you need to have 1,000 subscribers. So from that time I was eyeing, and last month it happened. So now the live also is happening very easily. If you have any questions regarding today's session, you can please ask Umaji. Stay blessed. Pradnya ji, stay blessed. Heman ji, blessed. Krishna Prasad, stay blessed. Roy Jacob Tarakan. Oh, this is a Keralite. Greetings to you, Roy ji. Hetal ji. What you are speaking resonates so loudly with me. Sambhav Tripathi, Pratyush, Arundhati, Shambai. Shambai, I'm waiting for you. आ जाओ. शायद आप संडे मंडे कुछ आने वाले हो ना, प्रताप भाई कह रहे थे. पूनम जी, वृंदा जी. संडे बिकॉज मंडे. वो आप हो इधर, आप आ जाओ. संडे आ जाओ. संडे नहीं, मंडे. मंडे आ रहे हो ना, मंडे आ जाओ. मंडे शाम को एक सत्संग है मेरा ऋषि गुरुकुलम टीम के साथ. ये अभी नहीं, पहले ही फिक्स हुआ था. एवरी 3 months दे वांट वन म्यूजिकल सत्संग फ्रॉम मी. सो ये इसका भी कोई एडवर्टाइजमेंट नहीं किया. मंडे को है शाम को 7 o'clock आई थिंक. आई हैव नॉट सीन, दे हैव सेंड मी द शेड्यूल्स. 7 to 9 or something. So we have satsang, and it's satsang on built on awareness, soul awareness. We don't sing bhajans. I don't prefer singing much of those bhajans of praise, God praising. It's more about awakening of the soul, such kind of songs of our purpose of life. So we are trying to do that. I'm not sure how it is going to unwind, but I think it will be good. शाम भाई आ जाओ, फिर साथ में करेंगे सत्संग. प्रताप भाई भी रहेंगे. Because we are leaving next morning, Tuesday morning, early morning, to some more deeper places in Maharashtra. Some places which I always wanted to visit in my lifetime and I couldn't. This time I'm going to go make it. All the Tatreya Kshetras. When I don't sing bhajan, I don't mean I'm against God or anything. Because somebody told me too much of ज्ञान के साथ भक्ति नहीं है तो ठीक नहीं है. Yes, bhakti is needed. But again, the bhakti is it should be parabhakti, not a parabhakti. So that is there. See here, last I remembered. इसमें भगवान ने बोला था 286 verse. Desireless bhakti. See here also he's saying desireless bhakti is not for the enjoyment of worldly happiness. This desireless bhakti, in bracket parabhakti, is not related to nature. It is beyond the laws of nature. Nature means again Dvaita. He's talking simply Dvait. So Parabhakti is not something to do with the nature or the world. And it is neither for the enjoyment of the worldly happiness. What is that? Parabhakti. Parabhakti is what Mirabai practiced. Parabhakti is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu practiced. What Kabir practiced, what Tulsidas practiced. Oneness. So he says this is not for worldliness happiness, worldly happiness. And what do we do? Our bhakti is so much that our kirtans are so much, all generating worldly happiness. And see what he says. This bhakti is not for getting rid of worldly difficulties. अब क्या बताएं, इतना स्पष्ट है, इतना डीप है. He's telling do not use this bhakti to get rid of your problems. And what do we do? What I was mentioning in the start. To earn punya, to redeem our sorrows, our karmas, बुरे कर्म मिटाने के लिए हम ये करते हैं भजन, संकीर्तन, सेवा. And you hear what he's saying? This bhakti is not for getting rid of your worldly difficulties. There is no relation whatsoever between this bhakti and worldly suffering. वो बोल रहे पहले तो लिंक ही नहीं है इन सब चीजों से. वो भक्ति और ये तुम्हारी सफरिंग से कोई लेना देना ही नहीं. No one should shrink back from this path of bhakti, which parabhakti. One should only proceed in it, like the big lizard. वो होता है ना, what is that called? That big lizard in which they stick it onto the fort and they climb. That strong lizard, whatever that lizard, big lizard. Like the big lizard in the fort, which embraces the fort wall very firmly and never leaves it. Desireless bhakti, that is parabhakti, should be firmly embraced in the heart lotus of steadfast, with steadfast faith, with full faith, like that lizard stuck on the wall. That should be the parabhakti. And he's talking all about parabhakti. Okay, then it's very big. This is the last verse that he's talking about. So bhakti, when we say, it's not that there is no bhakti in this sankirtans. If we sing something about consciousness and all, it's not that it's not there. It is already involved in it. It's a parabhakti. It's mixed in it. The bhajans nowadays, I cannot sing with apara bhakti. Apara means the bhed bhakti. Like God is outside and then you sing praise. I cannot do that even to my guru. Once upon a time I used to do that. Now I cannot see him separate. Problem is that even to worship I am unable to do that. To even see him like separate, he's outside and even bow there. It's all within. It's one with the Guru Tattva. Parabhakti is that. What Chedakasha Gita also is telling. Parabhakti is very superior. Very, very superior. I'll tell you a beautiful story. Very, very beautiful story. It's Christian story. Very beautiful to explain. There was one priest that who used to go on preaching Christianity everywhere. Yuling Singh, greetings to you, welcome. So this priest used to go and sermon, preach the Christianity to many people out there. And then once he goes to an island, he crosses in his boat, he goes to an island. I may not be talking exactly the same story, but I'm doing little modifications so that we understand. So he goes and reaches the island, and then he's teaching everybody. This preacher has this thing like, I have to teach everybody how to pray. So everywhere, Christianity has got a lot of prayers. In the church, when I used to go to the church in third standard, fourth standard, we were forced with lakdi dande leke. You have to study and by heart this. So there was prayers like Our Father, Hail Mary, Holy Mary, I believe in Christ, I confess. So many prayers were there, and long prayers. And we used to by heart out of fear. What did I say? These things should never be out of fear and greed, and here out of fear. It should be out of love. But where's the love when there is force and restrictions? So we used to by heart this, and most of the time I could never relate with the prayers because it was so parroted. I had to parrot it out, no bhav in it, no soulfulness in it. So it never worked. I don't know if it worked also, or people think it works. So here the priest reaches an island and he's teaching everybody, whomever he catches and says, I have come to preach and spread Christianity. So here, listen to this prayer. This is how you pray. So there he sees three people sitting very silently. So he goes there and he says, why are you sitting idle like this? You should be praying, praying to God. What are you utilizing your time for? And they say, we do it. He says, how are you doing it? You're wasting your time here. He said, we are right now also praying. How is that possible? Because prayers means you have to say it out loudly. Like we say it. I say my prayers so loudly. Are you ashamed of praying? No, we are not ashamed. And they get up and they give respect to the father, to the priest, and say, this is all that we know. What is that prayer? Then those people, three of them say, we do not know how to pray. You do not know how to pray? Let me give you the Bible, read through it. They say, we are very sorry. We do not even know to read and write. You do not know to read and write? Then it's very difficult. Then no problem. Then can you by heart? I will teach you. What all prayers do you know? You tell me. They say, we don't know any prayers. But you just now said you three are all praying. Yes, we are praying. We are done. We created our own prayers. Because we could not read and write, because there was nobody to tell, and we could not memorize it properly. It was so difficult, we made our own prayers. We made up our own prayers. So the priest is like, arrogantly, how is that possible? You mean you have created your own prayers? You're not supposed to do that. We are the ones who are supposed to give. How can you create your own prayers? How will that work? All these years, all these centuries, this has been proven. It is there in the scriptures. So whatever is there in the scriptures only works. How can you create your own prayer? And that is what happens when, even if you go in mosques or temples or any place of worship, there is a conformity. There is something that is prescribed and given and taught. And it is also believed that only if you do that way, God appears to you or you can connect with God. Anything other than that is not subscribed. And if you don't follow that, you are not part of that. You are something different. And here were three different people, completely different. So the priest started accusing them. You don't follow this. You are not a Christian. You're not supposed to be a Christian. What are you doing then here? And they say, with all due respect, Stevan, this is all that we know. We are poor people. We don't even have any other ideas. So this is the prayer that we created. And then the priest is curious. What kind of prayer is that? I need to hear it, that you have created. So they say, we didn't know anything. So we just said one simple thing to us, three of us, and we convinced ourselves on that. It is that in Christianity, we have the Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Trinity is always there, like we have in Hinduism, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So there we have Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Here we have Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Trinity there, Trinity here. And these people say we are also three. So our prayer is, you are three, we are three. Have mercy on us. What is the prayer? You are three, looking up to God. Trinity, you are three, we are also three. Have mercy on us. That's our prayer. The priest gets bewildered. He says, what kind of nonsense prayer is that? You are three and you are three, and so have mercy on us. Ye bhi koi baat hui? So he says, this is stupidity. This is ignorance. You are not in the kingdom of Christ. You are not in the kingdom yet. Now I'll teach you how to pray. Listen carefully. And when I teach you, you recite this every day, and then God will be with you. You will attain everything that God has promised, and blah 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 blah. He goes, you will reach the peak and pinnacle, and heaven is waiting for you. And God will quickly also answer your prayers. It will be received. So they are now curious. Really, Father? What is that? We didn't know something like, yes, you are ignorant. You don't know. Now let me teach you how to pray. So he gives them the prayer. One prayer. A long prayer. And they are like, not clear. I say, can you repeat it, Father, once again? Father repeats it again. Then they tries to memorize. Again, 1 2 words here, they are going. Again, can you repeat again? Saying so at least 5 6 times, they ask. And the priest now is very happy that somebody is coming in conformity, so he's ready to sacrifice that time because they're adjusting and they're listening now. So now he has control over them. Now he can command and tell when God is going to listen to them. Like the priests, they are the mediators. So everything we have to offer to them, including money, and then they will decide when can God meet you or you can meet God. And without their intermediation, no God for you. So they become intermediate priests because that is how you get control. And that's how the whole system in all religions work. So this thing happens, and the poor three of them are standing very humbly and trying to recite and recite, and finally they get the prayer and they recite and they say, thank you so much, Father. Now finally we have God. We didn't know, and it's our grace, it's the blessing of God that you yourself came here. And the priest is very happy. He says, bless you, my dear ones. Bless you, bless you, bless you. And he leaves on his boat. He's very happy that he has achieved something. 3 fools. He made something out of 3 fools. And finally, he's speeding in his boat. But while he's speeding in his boat, he hears some noise behind. So he turns and looks back. When he turns and looks back, he has a shock of his life. He's seeing all the 3 of them running on the water behind the boat, literally running, and he has a shock of his life. So by the time the boat has crossed the other side, and the boat stops on the other side, and these people catch up, huffing and panting and fully tired and catching their breath. And the priest says, what was that? And they come and bow to him humbly. Father, 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 so really sorry. We are really sorry that we had to do this. We are troubling you and all that. Please, please, please. One more time, please tell us the prayer. We could not. One mistakes here and there. So we were arguing. We said, let us ask Father only before he gets out of sight. So they are coming and bowing in front of him. And the Father has the shock of his life. He says, in the whole of Christianity, if one person could walk on water, that was Jesus. Jesus was known to walk on water. And here I'm seeing these 3 beings walking on water. Suddenly lightning strikes him and he learns his lesson and he bows down to all the 3, falls at their feet and say, I'm sorry. You have already attained what all you have to attain. You are all godly. And you are so humble that you don't even realize that. He says, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Your prayers were the best. Please forgive me for making you robotic. So this priest is now so humbled by this experience. And what do we learn here? Bhavre. Sab kuch bhavre. So it is not about the prayers that, conformity of people. Like when I used to sing bhajans in the ashram, I used to have flexible kind of, I don't like conformity, going exactly by this tongue, wahi char words, wahi char rhythm. So sometimes I used to flex out the pitch or scale or some creativity coming, this, that, and all that. And sometimes words would change. Sometimes I used to mix 2 bhajans. Suddenly rok dete, the, hey, ruko, 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 ruko. What happened? You're not supposed to sing that way. What did I sing wrong? No, 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 this doesn't happen here. But what did I do wrong? You have not done wrong, but this way of singing is wrong. What did I sing? I just combined two. No, you can't sing that. Not accepted here. Accepted by you or God? None of them. Oh, and I still remember that bhajan. Hari Om Namah Narayana Om Namah Narayana. I'm singing a little slowly because people are sleeping around. Hari Om Namo Narayana. है मालिक तेरे बंदे हम हमारे करम नेकी पर चली और बड़ी से तली ताकि हंसते हुए निकले दम हरि ओम नमो नारायण। अब क्या गलत है इसमें? क्या बड़ा तीर मारा, क्या बड़ा पाप किया मैंने? रोक दिया, नहीं चलता यहाँ पे। तो यहाँ पे जहाँ पे है मुबारक हो आपको, मैं नहीं गाऊंगा इसके बाद। जहाँ कॉन्फॉर्मिटीज इतनी आडंबर से, मैं नहीं गा सकता, छोड़ दिया। उसके बाद मैंने गाया ही नहीं उधर, कभी नहीं गाया। We people like this who are awakened, who are aware, who are beyond all this kind of concepts and stuff, they cannot be controlled in all these things. They feel घुटन सी लगती है। वही मैं बोल रहा हूँ, अगर गलती किया तो समझ आती है। गलती का है क्या है? तत्व ही समझे नहीं, तत्व बोध ही नहीं है। ड्राई टीचिंग से कुछ नहीं होता, ड्राई प्रिंसिपल से कुछ नहीं होता। तो ऐसे सारे आडंबर को मेरा नमन, रिस्पेक्टफुली, बट आई प्रिफर नॉट टू डू इट, नॉट टू, आई फॉलो माई हार्ट। सो नाउ आई एम सिंगिंग वट एवर आई वॉन्ट। मोबाइल ऑन कर दिया, गाना है तो गा दूंगा, बाथरूम में गाना है तो गा देता हूँ। अरे बाथरूम में कैसे गा रहे हो, ये नहीं गाते भजन में। आपके आडंबर आपके पास रखो, मैं तो बाथरूम में मंत्र जाप भी करता हूँ। एंड नाउ when I'm freely singing, people are inviting me to sing satsangs. करो, सत्संग करो, हमारे लिए भी करो। आप जैसे गा रहे हो वही वही गाओ। एंड नो बडी इज आस्किंग, आई एम सिंगिंग सूफी सॉन्ग्स देयर। कौन क्या बोलने वाले? ये तो इतना करके दो भजन मैंने मिलाया तो बड़ा पाप हो गया। अब मैं पता नहीं, मैं मुस्लिम और क्रिश्चियन भी डालूंगा तो क्या। अच्छा याद आया, अभी मंडे का सेशन मैं इसमें तीनों भी मिला के करूंगा। क्रिश्चियन, हिंदू, सिखिज्म, जैनिज्म, बुद्धिज्म, क्रिश्चियनिटी। 5 तत्वों को मिला के चलो। अच्छा याद आया, अभी टॉपिक मिल गया, नोट करता हूँ इसको। सो दिस टाइम सत्संग विल बी ऑल मिक्स टुगेदर, क्योंकि वो लोगों को कोई आडंबर नहीं है। ऋषि गुरुकुल वाले मुझे कभी बोले गाओ, वो तो खुद बोलते हैं। और जब मैं वहां बैठा था, when I was taking their session, early morning session once, I was sitting for their session actually. I saw a photograph behind. There is one Adi Shankaracharya, one Jesus Christ, one Allah's photo, everything, and one Naska photo next to their Guruji's photo only. Everything. और सारे वो जाके पहले गुरु को नमन करते, फिर वो नमन सब वो तत्वों को करते हैं। And there they asked me to sing there on that platform. सुबह आप कोई भी गाओ। मैंने कहा कोई तो है जो निजाम हस्ती चला रहा है, वही खुदा है। They all loved it. सो जहाँ इसकी महत्व है, जहाँ इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस है, जहाँ इसकी वैल्यू है, आई प्रिफर सिंगिंग इन देयर। वेयर देर इज नो वैल्यू, आई डोंट सिंग देयर, सिंपल एज दैट। वेयर देर इज वैल्यू फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ ज्ञान, सो कॉल्ड ज्ञान, ज्ञान बांट रहा हूँ, चलो जहाँ उसकी वैल्यू है बांटूंगा, जहाँ नहीं है चुप रहूंगा। जहाँ कदर नहीं थी, मैंने कभी कुछ बोला नहीं, किया नहीं, चुप था। जहाँ कदर है, अब जहाँ कदर है वहां जाके, who wants it, who accept me, accepts the tattva the way they are, there, there is value for it. Now ऋषि गुरुकुलम is an it's a big organization. उनको वैल्यू मालूम पड़ा, अवेयरनेस का कुछ तो होगा, they said come and teach here, or people also, children, ऋषि गुरुकुलम teachers, have a word with them. Now they feel it's important, good. Where it is important वहाँ काम तो करेगा वो, जहाँ इम्पोर्टेंस नहीं लगा वो काम करेगा ही नहीं, काम करने ही नहीं देंगे, वो बात अलग है, लगना तो दूर की बात। शांतनु पॉल, Shiva, sorry for the disturbance. Last few days, I'm not getting the notification of your live sessions. No changes on my side. One side, sorry. I don't know. I उसमें कुछ रहेगा. You have to go and subscribe के अंदर कुछ रहेगा उधर. When you click on join or sub, I don't know what is this. Follow होता है क्या होता है? थोड़ा आपको देखना पड़ेगा उसमें. Follow के अंदर ही कुछ होता है उसमें, और give me updates for everything ऐसा कुछ होता है. When you go to the follow, there it says for only video or only posts or few posts or all posts or something. So if you have to click all, so you will get updates. Anyways, Shantanu ji, again I'm doing, tomorrow I'll be putting this form, it's ready. You can just sign up for those forms where you are leaving back your WhatsApp number and your email number. So all the updates that is coming for live, as well as what you call, mm, the new programs whatever I'm conducting, or retreats, or anything that's coming up, I'll post it there. So we are just updated, the people who are interested. So you can just leave things there. And I told all the programs that I do, or whatever courses, whatever I'm trying to do or attempting to do in whatever way I can, I'm going to keep it just in the closed circuit. Even if I do a seminar or webinar online, it is again a closed circuit. Maybe even 2 people or 5 people or 10 people, fine, fantastic, no problem. I don't want to publicize it and bring curious crowds or just time pass crowds there, just to see what's happening. So I can keep it on to that. And yes, I'm going to keep it donation based also, so that there is an energy exchange for everything that's happening. So you can choose your preferences in that form. There are preferences, whether you like this kind of a program or this kind, whatever. So even I'll get an idea of what exactly you're looking forward to. So if you are having any specific thing, that also you can mention. And there are people who are inviting also to conduct small retreats or some small sessions in their places. So if you are interested, there also is in the form, there something is there, you can always see, and I can look out and check out how practical it is. Then if it is practical, we can definitely do in-person sessions also, but again it is a private closed circuit groups, and there is nothing very fishy that's happening here, because when we say private groups, something fishy happening here. And many times it has happened. So people sometimes loiter around and see what this guy is doing. They attend the lives not because of anything, just to keep a watch. What is he doing? Okay, fine. So some are subscribed that way also, I know, just to keep watch and to pass information and all that. Nothing is going to matter. That's what I said. You do your karma, I'll do my karma. If that is your soul agenda, sit doing it. I am doing my soul agenda. वो तो guaranteed है. So in these sign up form also, tomorrow I'll be putting it. I made a short video on that also, and I'll post it. So I hope nothing else is there. अरे भैया, don't put your phone number here. हटाओ उसको. I'll wait. मैं डिलीट कर रहा हूँ शांतनु जी. Don't. Some of us are so innocent. I mean, and even when I met some spiritual beings, I keep meeting them in my travels or somewhere. Even Rishi Gurukula is such innocent beings, such innocent people. Their innocence is their achievement, because a person becomes innocent, very humble, very simple, very normal. That shows their greatness. Okay, no other questions, right? Then we'll break for the day today. And tomorrow is Sunday. I'm not doing a session in the morning. I'll be doing it at night only. I've got some work to do in the mornings. I'm going out somewhere. So night we can catch up today. Monday there will be no session again. So tomorrow will be the last session of this Know Thyself. I don't know. The book is long, but if we have to extend it, then it will be next week. But tomorrow, I think the whole theme we can just end in it. So I hope you have got the real message of these night sessions. These 3 hours, what we are doing is mainly focused on practical spirituality and deeper. How to go deeper and what is causing the blockages. Why are we not able to go deeper? Why are we not able to experience that stillness? Why are we sometimes even not able to experience or practice the practice also, the awareness? It's these little things. So once you have full awareness on these subjects, seriously and deeply, without any superficiality or hypocrisy or any kind of such things, deeply, if you go directly and accept the whole teachings of all these mystic scriptures, great saints, of our gurus, the path, everything in clarity views, I believe it should be very easy. So, with this, I think I'll take a leave. Much divine love and light to all of you. Stay blessed, have a very good night and good morning and bright day to all on the other side, especially the couple of you who are watching from other countries. Nalaji, have a great time. Stay blessed, Anitaji. May we all evolve. गुरुदेव शरणम गुरुमंडल शरणम अवधूत चिंतन श्री गुरुदेव दत्त. Stay blessed, Kanubai.